with a 2-2 record that includes a big win over then undefeated Northwest Texas.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copyrighted. This broadcast is under the direction and is copyrighted. This broadcast is
With a 2-2 record that includes a big win over then undefeated Northwest Texans and a convincing 74-0 district win over Creekview last week, Grapevine looks to capture the driver's seat for the 5A2 region District 4 playoff push. The Parrots from Fort Worth Poly aim to put a stop to Grapevine's winning ways. Big plays, big stops, X's and O's on a fall Friday night in Texas. It's sundown in Texas, and the Mustangs are herding up. Live from Clark Stadium in Fort Worth, this is Mustang TV on Tradio.
This is Mustang football.
Under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Sure that the word dominant does even justice to what Grapevine was able to do on both sides of the football last week.
Yeah, it's hard to fully encapsulate the efficiency with which Grapevine's offense operated. Creekview was not a team that was going to be able to stop them in sheer manpower nor scheme, and Grapevine took great advantage of that on both sides of the ball. You saw the starters get in, do their damage early in the game, and then you saw a number of backups get a plethora of playing time well into the third quarter and then the entire fourth quarter as well. It was a total domination by the Mustangs of Grapevine from start to finish.
Well, the Mustangs got a shot in the arm with the return of junior running back Caleb Tejada, who has essentially been out nursing an injury since the second quarter of the season opener against Colleyville Heritage, and he made his presence felt immediately.
No kidding. The first play from scrimmage, there was a false start, and then the first play that the Mustangs actually snapped it, Caleb Tejada was able to go all the way untouched to the end zone. In total, he ran just 7 times, but 168 yards and 3 touchdowns for Tejada. It was a shot in the arm, as you put it, to get him back. He's a leader on the football field. He's a leader off the football field as well, and it was great to see the jitterbug, the water bug, back out there for the Mustangs.
Well, the opponent tonight for Grapevine is Fort Worth Poly. It's really the first of a stretch of 6 opponents that Grapevine will play out of the Fort Worth School District. this is a Parrots team that, while they got a win last week, they really have stumbled out of the gates here in 2020.
Well, no question about it. And this is a team that traditionally has struggled to win football games, but this year it really isn't any different. They lost their first 3 ball games. Lake Worth shut them out in the opener 27-0. They lost to Joshua 18-6, and then to Pascal 21-8. They did get a win over Wyatt 36-16, but when you look at their statistical breakdown, this is a team that does not move the football all that often, and their defense has certainly had some bad games. So Poly's not a team that's built to compete with Grapevine tonight, and I think that the Mustangs are going to roll to their second district win.
Yeah, the Mustangs trying to get to their third straight win at 3-2 and would get out to a 2-0 mark in district should they get that victory tonight. So it is Grapevine and Poly this evening from Clark Stadium, and when we come back, we'll go inside the War Room to scout the Parrots. That's coming up next on Countdown to Kickoff, presented by WhirlyBall.
This broadcast of Grapevine Colleyville Independent School District is sponsored by KTVT CBS 11. After the game, be sure to watch CBS 11 News at 10 with Doug Dunbar, Chief Meteorologist, Scott Paget, and Bill Jones with sports. By DFW Smiles, Dr. Stephen Parker and his staff are dedicated and waiting to give you a pleasant visit and results that you're proud to show off. By CryoNation, get cold, not old with CryoNation. By Brown Chiropractic, get your lifestyle back and go see Dr. Kelly Brown, former middle linebacker and captain for the Mustangs. By Compass Church, where their mission is navigating people to God no matter your background. First Financial Bank, a community bank with 78 locations across Texas. The network sponsors Greenleaf Roofing. Next time you need any roof work done, call Greenleaf Roofing, 972-379-9109. By WhirlyBall, with 2 locations to serve you in Plano and Hearst. Life's more fun when you're zipping around in a Whirlybug. By In Command Broadcasting. By Lone Star Gridiron. And by the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. Grapevine Mustangs football is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio.
Did you know there's a cutting-edge cold therapy right here in Grapevine? It's CryoNation, and we talked to owner Josh Brown.
A cryo treatment will help your aches and pains. It's the modern-day version of an ice bath.
And that ice bath does some pretty cool things for your body.
Our cryotherapy chambers rapidly cool the body, accelerating muscle recovery, burning up to 1,000 calories, and activating anti-aging skin rejuvenation. It's an ice bath for the 21st century.
Josh, how does it work?
Cryogenically cooled air reduces inflammation and stimulates collagen production. This reduces inflammation, which accelerates injury recovery. Collagen helps reduce the signs of aging and cellulite.
Check out the secrets of CryoNation at cryo-nation.com. CryoNation.
For far too long, we have been known for what we are against. Let's be known for what we are for. Go to 4dfw.com to share the good challenge and amplify the good in your community. Join the challenge today at 4dfw.com.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But WhirlyBall is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, WhirlyBall in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your WhirlyBug for a WhirlyBall competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
We all have more trust in people connected to our community. Every year, Dr. Steve Parker raises money for community projects like Smiles for Life, Hope Farms, and Our Father's Children. Steve has donated hundreds of custom-fitted mouthguards to Grapevine football.
When you need a dentist, come to DFW Smiles. I'm Dr. Steve Parker. We'll take good care of you and your family.
Go to dfwsmiles.com or call 817-281-3444.
Living in North Texas provides all of us with an amazing quality of life, including an affordable cost of living, outstanding schools, unbelievable cultural opportunities, and the best sports around.
but we also have to put up with severe storms. Hi folks, Champion Sports Radio President and founder Thomas Lee here to tell you when a hail or windstorm comes through your neighborhood, do what we did and call Greenleaf Roofing. Greenleaf Roofing is a fully insured, locally owned and operated company built on the values of amazing craftsmanship, affordable options, and innovative solutions. And they are proud that those values still stand as a foundation for their business today. And did I mention Greenleaf Roofing has 24-hour emergency service available? It's nice to know Greenleaf Roofing will be there in a hurry if you need them. After the first experience, I became a customer for life and have used them on 3 different homes. But don't just take my word for it. Learn about the Greenleaf Roofing difference yourself by calling them at 972-379-9109 or go online to greenleaf-roofing.com to find out how you can get your free quote. Greenleaf Roofing, the #1 choice for all your roofing needs.
Are you showing your support for the Grapevine Mustangs in style? Check out the latest Mustangs gear at the Spirit Shop at all the home games on the north side of the stadium, or log on to shop.ghsmustangs.merchorders.com to check out the latest gear.
And welcome back into Countdown to Kickoff. It is Grapevine and Fort Worth Poly tonight from Clark Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas. And let's go inside the war room tonight for the Mustangs and scout these Parrots. And this is a Poly team that comes in 1-3. Their lone victory came last week, a 36-16 win in their district opener over O.D. Wyatt. And Mitch, when you look at the history of this program, it's a team that has historically struggled.
Well, we alluded to it off the top. You're right. This team has not done a lot of winning. In fact, you have to go back to 2009 to see their last winning season. That was a 6-5 campaign that saw them get greeted rudely by Stephenville in the first round of the playoffs. They lost 62-13. Since then, it has been just a handful of wins since 2009. Really, the height of their program has been the last couple of seasons when they've won 4 and lost 6 games in both 2019 and 2018. Going back before that, though, it's a lot of 1 win, 2 wins, sometimes no wins in a season. This team is not used to winning, and this year it may be something very similar.
Well, as we kind of dissect this Poly football team, let's start on the offensive side. 16 points last week. That's the most points that they have scored, or the 36 points. They're led by junior quarterback Quincy Carter. And when you look at them offensively, how would you say that they, in terms of just their offensive identity?
Sure, this is a run-first football team. There's no doubt about it. Quincy Carter is the quarterback at 5'10", 160 pounds, and through the season, he's thrown 49 passes. He's completed just 25 of them and thrown 2 interceptions. In total, only 184 yards through the air. But when you look at the ground game, the numbers are a little bit more encouraging. 38 rushes for the quarterback, 170 yards, and a touchdown. They've got 2 running backs that are going to carry the load for them as well. They've rushed for about 180 yards as well. So not an offensive powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination, but when Poly does move the football, a little counter to their name, the Parrots, they're doing it on the ground, not through the air.
Yeah, well, and when we switch sides here, and this really in this day and age of offense, defensively, you could say that Poly's not been all that bad in terms of points allowed and yardage that they've given up, giving up just a little over 20 points per game. What stands out to you about them defensively?
I think it's their linebacking core. All 4, I should say, are experienced linebackers. They're led by Omarion Millsap, who was first-team All-District last year. And you're right, this defense has not been at fault for these losses. They gave up 27 points in their loss to Lake Worth, but their offense got shut out. Ever since then, they've been improving steadily, and this defense is one that's going to use a lot of different guys to get to the football. They're going to rally to the tackles. That's what they pride themselves on. They don't have a ton of takeaways, but they do have 6 or 7 forced fumbles this year. They've only been able to recover a couple of them. So their advantage comes in rallying to the football and trying to punch it out more than blitzing or lockdown coverage.
It is Grapevine and Poly. Both these teams are out to 1-0 starts in district. Grapevine's 2-2 overall, and Poly comes in at 1-3. Well, coming up next, we'll sit down and hear from Grapevine head coach Mike Alexander. We'll get his take on their runaway win over Creekview in the district opener last week. He'll also talk about the added weapons on the offense with the return of Caleb Tejada and the addition of wide receiver Miguel Novoa. That's coming up next on Countdown to Kickoff, presented by WhirlyBall.
The Grapevine Mustangs win. It is what we do. And now, you too can be a winner and join the Grapevine Mustangs. At the Big Fish Golf Tournament auction, one lucky winning bidder will get to have their very own radio commercials played during the final 5 Grapevine Mustang games, as well as the playoff run. Make sure to be at Big Fish on Main Street on November the 2nd at 2:30 to join the auction and place your winning bid.
Hey Grapevine, Bill Jones here from CBS 11 Sports, and I'd like to congratulate you on your 100th year of Mustangs football. What a great tradition you have here in Grapevine. As a football fan raised here in Texas, I can tell you that's something to be very proud of. And by the way, we hope you join us on CBS 11 for coverage of Mustangs football, along with all the other action Texas has to offer. CBS 11 is also your official Cowboys station. So join me, Bill Jones, weeknights for CBS 11 News, the ones for Texas.
Are you a member of the Grapevine Mustangs Booster Club? Do you know about the many things that the Booster Club does to support your team? Log on to ghsmustangs.com to learn more about how you can help and support your Grapevine Mustangs.
Whether you're trying to get over an auto accident or just want to get your lifestyle back, the outstanding team at Brown Chiropractic Center is dedicated to helping you reach your goals.
I firmly believe that when your body is aligned, it functions much better, just like a race car performs at top speed when it's properly aligned. When you need an adjustment, come to Brown Chiropractic Center.
Chiropractic treatment can be used to treat a wide variety of physical issues such as migraines and headaches, chronic pain, carpal tunnel, pain due to injury or muscle strain, and of course, back issues.
I know what it's like to get banged up playing sports. I was a Mustang linebacker and loved it most of the time. I had help healing my aching back from a chiropractor in high school. When you need help to get back on the field, make an appointment with Dr. Kelly Brown at Brown Chiropractic Center.
Brown Chiropractic Center, an official partner of Team 100.
I'm Dr. Brown. I played for the Mustangs in 1977, and I want to wish the players, coaches, and parents the best of luck.
Online at brown-chiropractic-center.com.
If you are hearing this message, it is because our Grapevine Mustangs are playing football. Watching and playing football is one of the many privileges we get to enjoy in this great nation. Our special thanks to the GHS athletic trainers and coaches for installing and maintaining protocols to keep our players and staff safe. Go Mustangs!
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
LoneStarGridiron.com. Access the complete history of Texas high school football, over 100 years of information, win-loss records, coaching histories, individual stats, records, and more. Lone Star Gridiron, the authority on Texas high school football.
Welcome back into Countdown to Kickoff. It's Grapevine and Fort Worth Poly tonight from Clark Stadium in Fort Worth. And Coach, you get out to a 1-0 start in district, 74 points scored last week, second most all-time in school history in a single game. I know there had to be a lot of things you were pleased with from what you saw offensively.
Absolutely. Probably most importantly was Caleb Tejada coming back off injury. Just getting him back on the field was huge. Got Miguel Navoya back in the lineup for the first time of the year. And, it was good to have some of our horses back for sure.
When you talk about Caleb Tejada coming back, how does he change the dynamic of your offense? Because he can do so much not only on the ground, but through the passing game as well.
I mean, he's our number one running back. And anytime you got to play your first 3 games without your number one running back, it's going to be a challenge. But, yeah, you're right. He's versatile. And you're going to see him catch some balls tonight and try and showcase, all of his talents.
How about Miguel Navoya, a kid that comes in from Florida as a transfer? How quickly has he been able to adjust and pick up on the offense?
Man, he's such a joy to coach. He's just a happy kid that loves football, loves his teammates. He's smart. He hadn't played a ton of football, but God's gifted him with the ability to run and catch, and we're excited to have him on our team for sure.
We're talking with Mike Alexander. It's Grapevine and Fort Worth Poly tonight, and defensively, you pitched your first shutout of the season last week. How do you feel like this unit is progressing as really you get to the midway point of the season tonight?
Yeah, they're understanding what we're trying to do. We have some still have some pretty young kids. You know, we got a lot of juniors on the defense with some seniors sprinkled in, but they're understanding what we're wanting to do. They're making the proper checks. They're lining up well. We just got to keep tackling better and better each week. You know, that's the thing that probably comes around last is the ability to tackle consistently at a high level, and hopefully we'll tackle well tonight.
A kid that's been a huge addition for you defensively is corner Savion Shockley, a guy that came out from the basketball team. It's been quite a while since he played football. What's the transition been like for him?
It's been a little slow, but it's really progressed over the last couple of weeks. You know, he hadn't played since his 8th grade year, but he's a stellar athlete, and he's smarter than you'd give him credit for a kid that hadn't played in a long time. He gets it. He's one of those kids that he just understands where to be. He understands timing of how to compete for balls, and we're expecting him to continue to grow and have a huge year for us.
Well, you get set to face Poly tonight, a team that won their district opener last week. What do you see as being keys tonight, both sides?
Oh, man. Offensively, just execute. You know, we need to not drop passes and be sound in our run game blocking assignments. If we'll do that offensively, you know, I think all the first downs and touchdowns will take care of themselves. Defensively, just tackle well. We need to be aggressive, we need to be physical, and tackle well. And if we do that, I think we'll be fine.
We always enjoy the visit. Hey, best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Reagan.
That's Mike Alexander. It's Grapevine and Poly tonight at Clark Stadium in Fort Worth. Countdown to kickoff on Champion Sports Radio continues right after this.
If you need a family dentist, you need to know Dr. Steve Parker at DFW Smiles and Grapevine. Steve gladly offers a sticker shock from a corporate dentist. Go see Steve. Plus, he's a big supporter of Mustang football.
I'm Dr. Steve Parker. I hope you're enjoying the Mustangs game. Come see us at DFW Smiles and go Mustangs.
Go to dfwsmiles.com or call 817-281-3444.
Hey, Grapevine, what's happening? Doug Dunbar here from CBS 11 News. And first of all, let me congratulate you on your 100th year of Mustangs football. A great, rich history of tradition. Everybody in Grapevine can be proud of that, no doubt. By the way, hope you get a chance to join me for CBS 11 News. We air weeknights at 10 o'clock. You might just see that last awesome touchdown from your Grapevine Mustangs. So join me, Doug Dunbar, and the whole crew weeknights for CBS 11 News at 10 o'clock. The ones for Texas.
Want to learn more about your Grapevine Mustangs after each game? Each week of the season, you can go to ghsmustangs.com to see and hear from the head coach of the Mustangs on the Coach Mike Alexander Show. The Coach Mike Alexander Show is sponsored again this year by Kim Assad with Compass.
And countdown to kickoff continues on Champion Sports Radio. Grapevine and Poly tonight from Clark Stadium. Let's get into our key storylines, 3 storylines to watch for tonight. And let's start on the offensive line for Grapevine, where there is a bit of a change this evening, maybe going without their best offensive lineman. Right tackle Josh Logan is out, can't go tonight due to an injury. And so in his place, sophomore Max Livingston will take over at right tackle. And I think with his size, he got a chance to be something special on that right side.
Well, no doubt about it. 6'4", 235-pound sophomore is Max Livingston. And I talked to Cody Kovac, the offensive line coordinator. You'll hear from him at the half. But I asked him about Max, and he said that, with that size, that he absolutely has a chance to develop and be something special, as you said. It'll be a little bit of baptism by fire tonight, as he's never had a varsity start. But with that size, it kind of allows him to play catch-up a little bit better than he might otherwise. The fact of the matter is they have 4 other very strong offensive linemen that Kovac described as a brotherhood. They work very well together. They study the schemes well. They know their roles and what they're supposed to do. So he has high expectations for Max tonight.
It will be interesting tonight to see how Poly plays defensively. They've got a freshman defensive end on one side in Shamar Johnson, but on the other side, Sebastian Tudela, a second-team All-District selection, 5'10", 205. Will they match him up tonight on Livingston? We'll keep an eye on that. Switching sides, defensively, this is a unit that seems to be playing better and better each week. They get their first shutout of the season last week, and they'll face a Poly offense tonight that sputtered for a good part of their first 4 games. Another chance tonight for the defense maybe to have a dominant performance.
Sure. Poly's not going to run the triple option flex bone type offense that they did that the Mustangs saw a week ago, but they are a run-heavy team, and Grapevine this season has done very well against the run. Even going back to teams like Colleyville and Byron Nelson, we wondered if that defensive line would get pushed around, if the linebackers would get blocked in the second level, but that's really not been the case. These guys have played much bigger than their size. I think against another run-first team, Grapevine has had the advantage in weeks past. They've shown that they can stop the run. I think they continue that trend here tonight.
Well, last week you talk about the Grapevine getting out to such a large lead at 43-0 at the half, and then just rolled. With that came the opportunity for some of those younger players to get opportunities to play. The chance there tonight that they get out to another big lead against Poly. I don't want to jump ahead, but if we look up at the halftime and it is a runaway, good chance tonight to get to continue to develop some of this younger talent.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, I think the guy that everyone looked at last week that was so impressive was the backup quarterback in Colt Mercer. Look, he wasn't even supposed to be on the varsity roster this year. You're supposed to have Max Cowgill and Derek Engel kind of competing for that job, running a dual quarterback system maybe. But Derek goes down with an injury, and Colt comes up from the junior varsity team, and he went 4 for 7 last week for 2 touchdowns and 56 yards. Colt was completely unfazed. He looked like he belonged there in the pocket. I thought he had a very mature performance for just a true sophomore, and you're right, it would be fantastic if you could continue to get him reps. I think Grapevine has a very, very good quarterback for next year brooding as well.
Yeah, Grapevine and Poly just a little over 5 minutes away from kicking things off on a beautiful night in Fort Worth at Clark Stadium. When we come back, we'll give you the starting lineups as Grapevine and Fort Worth Poly meet in district action. This is Countdown to Kickoff, presented by WhirlyBall on Champion Sports Radio.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
And welcome back to Clark Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas. Grapevine and Fort Worth Poly, and let's get you to our starting lineups. And first of all, let's look at the Grapevine offense, averaging 37 points per game and 391 yards of offense per game. The offensive tackles, Drake Beckwith will be on the left side. Opposite of him, Max Livingston, who makes his first career start. The guards, Travis Mason and Dylan Beckwith. The center is Jason Short. The quarterback, Max Cowgill, who's completing roughly 64% of his passes, 869 yards passing, 9 touchdowns, and just 1 interception for Cowgill. Caleb Tejada, the running back, and then Griffin Edwards, the tight end, and the receivers, Parker Polk, Ben Gare, who's the leading receiver with 334 yards, and Elijah Steele. The defense opposite of them will be a 3-4 look for Poly. They're giving up just over 20 points per game. Sebastian Tudela, who was an all-district performer last year at defensive end, he's a senior. On the other side's a young freshman in Shamar Johnson. And then at the nose is Max Wallace. The linebackers are Omarion Millsap, who was a first-team all-district selection last year. He's on the outside, along with Isaiah Dixon. Antonio Serrano and Trevor Johnson are on the inside. And then the corners, Harold Connor and DJ Price. And then Jesus Moreno and Latrell Curry are the safeties. Then on the other side, look at Poly offensively. They are averaging just about 12 points per game. Up front, they average close to 265 pounds per man. The headliner's Daniel Ortiz, a 6'3", 225-pound senior who was a first-team all-district selection last year. Gerardo Diaz is on the other side. Jesus Perez and Elijah Dixon, the guards. The center is Rashad Berryhill. Quincy Carter, the quarterback, who's completed 61% of his passes. He's more of a dual threat, 184 yards passing, 170 on the ground. Traylon Brown's the running back, and then the receivers, the quartet of Anthony Shepard, Edward Blanton, Harold Connor, and Marcellus Owens. Grapevine defensively, they base out of a 3-4 look. Nicholas Chavoya and Christian Watson, the defensive ends. Aiden Cassidy returns to the lineup tonight as the nose guard. Cade Keeling, Garrett Johnson, and Mason Shimkus, the linebackers, although it looks as though Johnson will not go tonight, so we will either see Tyler Mears or Alex Garay at the outside linebacker. The corners, Adrian White and Savion Shockley, and then the safeties, Dylan Hohenberger, Jackson Yarbrough, and Keegan Courtney. Team captains coming out for the coin toss tonight, Jason Short for Grapevine and Elijah Dixon for Poly. The Mustangs did win the toss. They've deferred, and Poly is elected to receive, so it will be Poly that will receive, and Grapevine will be kicking off defending the south end zone. The Mustangs getting set to pour out of their end zone from the south side, and here they come. They're decked out in solid white tonight with the white helmets and the red Mustang, and for Poly, they wear the bright orange jerseys, the black numbers, the white trim, the black pants, and the black helmets with the orange parrot on each side. Both teams have made their way onto the field. We're set for the second game in district action for the Mustangs. Both these teams at 1-0 in district. The opening kickoff for this one's coming your way next on Champion Sports Radio.
For far too long, the church has been known for what it is against. At Compass Christian Church, we want to be known for what we are for. We are for the Grapevine Mustangs. We are for the community. We are for you. No matter where you've been or what you've done, you matter to God and you matter to us. We invite you to experience a place where you can connect with God, others, and your purpose. Learn more about Compass at compass.church. That's compass.church.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Texas. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2nd, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. Served by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
From Clark Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas, it's a battle between a pair of teams out to 1-0 starts in District 4 5A action as the Grapevine Mustangs go on the road tonight to face the Fort Worth Poly Parrots. Hello, everybody. I'm Reagan Radcliffe along with Mitch Mason coming to you tonight from Clark Stadium in Fort Worth, where it is a gorgeous night for football. There's a full moon rising there in the east, sunset, and a terrific evening. 64 degrees, very comfortable, and not a cloud in sight as these two teams get set to square off. And Mitch, what stands out as keys for you tonight for the Mustangs?
Offensively, Grapevine has got to take care of the football. That was one thing that we talked about in the pregame show was this defense does know how to punch the ball out. They forced 7 fumbles through 4 games. So for Grapevine, keep your hands on the football, make sure it stays in your possession. Defensively, keep Quincy Carter, the quarterback, between the tackles. He doesn't throw a ton, but he will run the ball. He's got 170 rushing yards and a touchdown on the season. That's what the Parrots want to do. They want to keep it on the ground. Grapevine needs to keep them between the tackles and don't allow any explosive plays. You should walk out of here with your second district win of the season.
Now, these two teams first met back in 1980. Grapevine has dominated the all-time series. This is the 11th meeting between these two teams. The Mustangs lead 8-2. They've won 8 straight over Poly, and their last loss came to the Parrots back in 1981. Mike Alexander, the head coach for Grapevine in his 4th year with the Mustangs, 27-13, and Poly led by Jeff Green, a booming kick that will sell out of the back of the end zone. Green took over this program 3 years ago. He's 9-14. He'd been on the coaching staff at Burleson before arriving at Poly in 2018. And we'll take a look at this Parrot offense as they come out, led by Quincy Carter. It's a Mustangs defensive unit that's giving up 301 yards per game, about 25 points per game. But they seem to have progressed each week since that opening loss to Heritage or at Globe Life Park to open up the 2020 season. Mustangs come out in a 3-4 look. It is Alex Garay who gets the start in place of Garrett Johnson tonight. 3 wides for Poly as they've got a tight end set left. Carter's in the shotgun, and a handoff sweeping to the right side, bottled up, loss of yardage at the 23. The running back on that play, Trevor Atchison, was strung out, and it's maybe a gain of actually a yard to the 24.
That's what we've seen Grapevine do so well, especially the last 3 weeks, is just contain running backs, keep them from getting outside. Jackson Yarbrough coming up from his safety position there to make that tackle.
Again, a tight end set left. The ball's on the right hash. Opening drive for the Parrots. It started at their own 19-yard line, or rather at their own 24-yard line. Here's a handoff again to Atchison. He is belted, stood up, and driven back. They'll give him forward progress to the 25. Aiden Cassidy in there on the charge. Christian Watson over there, and Dylan Hohenberger amongst a slew of white-shirted Mustangs.
If you remember back to a couple of weeks ago when I talked to Tanner Ansel during the halftime show, one of the things that he said that he was very proud of this defense for was rallying to the football. Very rarely do you see one-on-one tackles. It's guys understanding the scheme, understanding where they need to be, and then rallying to the football when it goes somewhere else. Great gang tackle there from the Mustangs, puts Poly in 3rd and long.
Yeah, 3rd and 10 from their own 25, moving left to right. Carter to throw for the first time. They bring a blitz, and he overshoots his intended receiver. Was Atchison out of the backfield. The heat was coming as they brought an inside linebacker. It's a 3-and-out, and 4th and 10 coming out for the Parrots.
That was a blitz by Mason Shimkus, who forced that pressure. Doesn't go down as a sack or even a quarterback hit, but no doubt Shimkus's pressure, his coming from that B gap there is what forced that incompletion. Carter didn't even get his feet set, had no chance of completing that out into the flat.
So now the punt, and it is a very short, high kick. It's going to be great field position for Grapevine. It bounces at their own 42-yard line, straight up into the air, and it'll be taken for the Mustangs. They're going to have outstanding field position at the 42 of Poly with 10:34. Opening drive now coming up for the Mustangs as they'll get the ball going right to left. So we'll see the offense led by Max Cowgill for the first time tonight. 73 of 114, 64% of his passes have been completed. And then what efficiency, 9 touchdowns, only 1 interception for Cowgill. He's done a tremendous job of taking care of the football. He'll work with Tejada, the single setback to his right in the shotgun. Griffin Edwards is the tight end left. Cowgill to throw and slings it out into the flat. It's incomplete. There was pressure coming. A couple of defenders in the backfield, and Cowgill got his arm hit on that pass, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Cowgill, I think, was expecting Tejada to turn and look just a step sooner. You could see him step into the throw and then slow the body down because Caleb didn't have his head around there. Just a miscommunication on the route.
2nd down and 10. And it is a handoff to Tejada. He is slung down immediately in the backfield. The pressure and the tackle coming from the backside defensive end, Shamar Johnson. It's a loss of a yard for the Mustangs.
Shamar's just a freshman, but he stands 6 feet tall, 185 pounds. He's got 16 tackles. 3 of them are sacks, and he's got 4 total tackles for loss. And as I mentioned in the pregame, they force a lot of fumbles. He's got 1 of them. Shamar Johnson, certainly a player to watch for this Poly defense. As we talked about, not liable for the 3 losses that they've had so far.
3rd down and 11 at the Poly 43, right to left for the Mustangs. 4 wides with trips to the right. Cowgill throws it, picked off at the 31, just the 2nd interception of the year, and ahead to the 40 to the 41. The interception made by Omarion Millsap, a guy that you talked about in the pregame tonight, a first-team All-District linebacker last year, and something you also alluded to, keys to the game. Don't turn the ball over. The Mustangs do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, that might have been the broadcaster curse on both of our parts there. As you mentioned that Max hadn't thrown but one, and I talked about us needing to secure the football. Millsap, one of the best linebackers in the district. As you mentioned, he was first-team All-District a season ago. That's his second interception on the season. And one thing that the Mustangs cannot do is give this Poly Parrots team hope and good field position.
1st and 10 for Poly, left to right. 4 receivers, 2 each side. There was movement by the inside receiver, but there's no flag. Carter takes it on a zone read. He's around the corner to midfield. He's got first down yardage. He's stacked up finally at the 49. And there had to have been a missed call down here. The inside receiver to the bottom of that formation was moving before the play, but nonetheless, Carter gets a first down.
I thought so too. Definitely a twitch before the snap. It's unfortunate that the Mustangs don't get that break. It is a first down for the Parrots, and now for Grapevine, their defense got a great stop. Now they've got to do it again on short rest.
Carter looks to the sideline. First down and 10 coming up. Offensive coordinator Brad Eblin sends in the signals. 4 receivers, 2 each side of the formation. Carter on a design quarterback keep, cuts inside. He's got near first down yardage, stacked up, hit hard at the 40. He took a shot right at the sticks. He might be a yard short. But a big hole on the left side of that offensive line. Daniel Ortiz and Jesus Perez opening up the hole.
Some big bodies on this offensive line for the Parrots. Jesus Perez, 6'1", 310 pounds, helped open up that hole. This is one of a return to a bigger offensive line. Creekview did not have one last week, and Grapevine dominated.
2nd and 1, Poly's on the move. The give goes to Atchison. He's got the first. Just squirts through the hole to the 35 to the 34. Nice cutback from Atchison, a 5'6", 135-pound junior who's built a lot like Tejada.
He is a very, very similar back, second-team All-District a season ago, and he is basically Poly's version of Tejada. Small but very shifty, very athletic. He'll make you miss if you give him a chance.
1st and 10 with 8:05 to go in the first quarter. Scoreless. Poly went 3 and out on their first possession. Grapevine had an interception, and Poly's on the move now at the Mustang 34. Carter sprints left. He's going to keep it. There is a flag. Carter loses the football. He was tackled at the 36, but they're saying whistles had blown before he went to the ground. It would be Mustangs football, but the whistles had been blown. But there is a flag back at around the 39 or 40-yard line.
We'll see what the call is. That's an interesting call to blow the whistle before Carter hit the ground. It wasn't like he was moving the pile at all, or if there was a stalemate. Carter was just falling to the ground.
The sideline warning on Grapevine. So a play that was going the Mustangs' way, that not only did they not get the fumble recovery, but now they also have a sideline warning. It is a loss of maybe 4 yards on the play. 2nd and 14 now for Poly. 7:42 and counting in a scoreless first quarter. Trips to the wide side right, and there are whistles before the play develops. The play clock was at 9, so it's not a delay game. False start on the Parrots, and this will back them up another 5.
Well, it's on the same guy that should have been called for a false start already. It was on DJ Price, the slot wide receiver. He got away with the first one. He doesn't get away with this one.
So now what was the original line of scrimmage at the 34 of Grapevine has been pushed back to the Mustang 42. They need to get to the Grapevine 24. 2nd and about 18 yards. Carter gives to Atchison, and Atchison knifes his way. Tough running. Gets to the 37. Gain of maybe 5. And a long 3rd down and about 13 coming up.
Well, and he had Mishak and Goey draped like a cape there for about 5 yards, but he just carried him forward. Tough running is certainly the right word, and it's not what you would expect when you look at Atchison at all.
3rd down, 13. The Parrots on the move at the Mustangs 37. Big play right here. Scoreless with 6:52 to go. They bring a blitz. Carter gets it off. Pass incomplete in the flats at the 39. Boy, Carter was walloped in the backfield as they brought the house on that play. And 4th down now coming for Poly.
Yeah, good blitz that gets home there for the Mustangs. Nicholas Chavoyer with the hit. We'll say with Carter not being very tall, just at 5'10", and that might be generous looking down at the field, the Mustangs have to make sure that they don't hit him high when they do make contact.
4th and 13 for Poly. They're going to go for it at the Mustangs 37. Grapevine with 3 down linemen. Looks as though they're going to rush 3. Press coverage on the receiver up top. They've got trips to the wide side right. Now a timeout for Poly as the play clock had gotten down to 8. So the Parrots will come over, talk about it. 6:47 to go in the first quarter and scoreless. And right now, Poly got Grapevine a little bit back on their heels. A long 4th down and 13 coming up right here. What do you see Tanner Antle doing? We've seen Poly struggle with some pressure here in the early going.
Yeah, I think Antle's feeling Poly out a little bit so far. They've only brought 2 blitzes, and they were both on 3rd down. I think as this game progresses, ideally you would bring more pressure. The threat or the downside to that is if Poly runs it the opposite way that you're blitzing from, there's nobody home for you because you've got to play man coverage. So against a running team like this, ideally you want to sit back in zone, have your linebackers stay close to the line of scrimmage. That just prevents you from bringing a lot of blitzes. But in obvious passing situations, I think the Mustangs will pin their ears back.
Yeah, well, Poly has changed their mind. Look out for a fake, though. Antonio Serrano punts it. This time he gets away a nice rugby-style kick, bounces at the 11, down inside the Mustangs 10. At the 8-yard line is where Grapevine will take over. 1st down and 10 at their own 8 with 6:38 remaining in the first quarter, and we're scoreless. Mustang Nation, tonight after the game, be sure to watch CBS 11 News at 10 with Doug Dunbar, Chief Meteorologist Scott Padgett, and Bill Jones with sports. Weeknights only on CBS 11, your official Dallas Cowboys station. Offense huddles up around Braden Smith, offensive coordinator. This is an offense that has really clicked on all cylinders coming into the night. They're averaging almost 400 yards per game offensively. 269 through the year, 122 on the ground, and they'll get their second crack at Poly after the interception on their opening drive. The give is to Tejada, and he kind of puts a hand on the lineman's back and then squirts his way through to the 15, gain of close to 6 yards on 1st down.
And I think that's what you're going to see Braden Smith, the offensive coordinator for the Mustangs, transition to is establish the drive with some runs. You came out, you tried to throw it early, and Poly seemed prepared for that. Let's see how they handle the ground game.
2nd and 4, again to the ground. Tejada off right tackle. He's got the first to the 20-yard line. Got in behind Dylan Beckwith and Max Livingston on the right side. That moves the chains. We told you with Max Livingston getting the start tonight, we'd keep an eye on Poly. How do they align defensively? And right now, Livingston is drawing the card of senior defensive end Sebastian Tudela to that side. Now on 1st and 10, play fake. Quick pass to Gare, tackled immediately. Short gain to the 25, and then paid the price. Millsap who's been awfully active here in the early going, makes the stop after a short gain of 4.
Gare, who usually has at least one move in him, I think was preoccupied with securing that football. It looked like it almost went through his hands, and instead just kind of ran into a couple of different defenders. But steady progress is certainly what the Mustangs want to see.
2nd and 6, scoreless in the first quarter with 5:30 to go, and Tejada's belted at the line at the 26. And right now, Poly has been impressive in the trenches in their front 4.
Well, they have a lot of experience there. You mentioned Tudela. Their nose guard is Max Wallace. They also have Braxton Hernandez, who is a first-team All-District performer last season. And then their youth, their inexperience, quote-unquote, is Shamar Johnson, who is one of the team leaders in tackles and sacks.
3rd down and 5 at their own 26. From the shotgun, 3 receivers. Cowgill throws, got a man open. Gare's got the catch at the 40. 1st down yardage, makes a move to the outside, cuts up the sideline. He's the 49, just a yard shy of midfield. And tackled by Harold Connor, the corner to the near side. That's a First Financial first down for the Mustangs.
That's a huge pickup. Good for the confidence of Max Cowgill as well. He had a clean pocket. He could step up and deliver an accurate ball. Now you hope that Max starts to get in a rhythm, starts to operate within the confines of this offense. Should help them in the long run.
1st and 10, swing pass to Tejada, makes the catch, then makes a move, gets outside, 50, 45, 40 down the sideline, and then run out of bounds as he angles out at the 47. Boy, Tejada turned something big out of nothing.
Well, we might have fireworks tonight, too, if we get to watch Tejada for the Mustangs, Atchison for the Parrots, 2 very shifty, athletic running backs, and Tejada, it's just the same same story, a different day for him. He is a game changer, a playmaker, and the Mustangs are certainly glad to have him back.
Another First Financial first down, 4:27 remaining, first quarter, no score. Put a man in motion. That's Elijah Still. Tosses it to him. Still's met in the backfield. Slips the tackle. He's at the 40. Cuts back to the right. Dives to the 35. Ahead of the 34. Still was dead to rights for at least a loss of 5, and he gets a gain of about 3.
Yeah, he got very fortunate to shake that tackle. I believe that was Tadella that had a hand on him. Steele able to fight through that. The Parrots blew that up. You could actually see the defensive coordinator here on the near side, Russ Coons. He was screaming at his team to expect something like that. Grapevine, that was the first time they'd used that formation all night.
2nd and 8. Edwards is the tight end. 3 receivers to give us to Tejada. He's met in the right at the line. There was a quick opening, but then a surge from the linebacking core. And a gain, I don't know if he maybe he got back to the line. Yeah, he did get about a yard, in 3rd and 7 coming up now for the Mustangs.
Well, the size of this linebacking core for the Parrots, 5'10", 5'10", 5'10", 5'9". It's very consistent across the board. They're bigger, certainly, than the linebackers that Creekview ran out against Grapevine, and you hope that the Mustangs are ready for the challenge that this Parrots defense is going to throw at them tonight.
3rd down and 7. 3 receivers and a tight end right out of the shotgun. Cowgill to throw, now steps up. Heaves it, left side, caught by Novoa. Makes a move at the 25. He's got the first down. Still on his feet, spun around at the 24, shoved back. But another first down for the Mustangs as they move the chains, and the first time that we called Novoa's name tonight.
Well, and also the first time that we're going to call Max Livingston's name as far as performance goes. He withheld Tadella, who was screaming around the corner. He did a good enough job to push him wide, gave Cowgill the time and space to operate.
First down and 10 at the Parrots' 24. The give to Tejada. He looks to knife his way to about the 23. And again, great pursuit by that front line and the linebacking core. And a minimal gain of a yard.
Well, there's 4 of them out on the field, and as I said during the pregame show, this is their strength. That linebacking core kind of hunts as a pack. They're going to rally to the football very, very quickly. It's critical for Grapevine to maintain ball security tonight because you're going to have multiple guys hitting you.
2nd down and 9. Cowgill, quick play action, throws in the flat. Edwards has got it at the 20, lowers his shoulder to a booming hit as Edwards plows his way down to the 16, short of the first by about a yard, but a tough sledding by Edwards after the catch.
Well, and Tadella was matched up against Edwards. He expected Griffin to block him, went for a swim move and swam into thin air as Griffin ran out into the flat. It threw Tadella completely off balance and left Griffin wide open without a defender. Beautiful play design there by Braden Smith.
3rd and 2. Now they put Davis in the backfield along with DeBray. Novoa and Gare, the receivers, on a 3rd down and 2 at the Parrots' 16. Put a man in motion, and the give is to Davis. Davis started right, was just looking for any kind of a crease. There wasn't much there. He dives ahead to the 15. He's short of the first by about a half a yard.
I think that was Antonio Down, a 2nd-string defensive tackle who blew through the line of scrimmage, and he made Davis choose which way he wanted to go, and it was not the correct decision. I think had they run it straight up the middle, they might have had the first down, but the hesitation cost them.
4th, less than a yard, they're going to go for it from the shotgun. Cowgill stands back at around the 25. Novoa in a short motion. 2 running backs in the backfield. Cowgill spins back around to his right, throws, and caught at the... No, it was not. That ball tipped away at the 15-yard line. Some trickery on that play, on the play action, and Cowgill spun back around to his right. It's incomplete, and how about that? Poly has held the Mustangs. We're still scoreless with 57 seconds to go, and the Parrots are going to get the ball at their own 15.
Well, the issue with that was the players on the short side of the field for Poly didn't have enough time to be fooled. That fake was run so quickly. They took a step forward, but because there wasn't enough time for that to sink in and the Grapevine receivers to get open, there was just nobody past the sticks that was able to catch the pass for the Mustangs. And you're right, this defense has rallied twice now.
So from their own 14 with about 58 seconds remaining in the first quarter, the give is straight ahead up to about the 20-yard line. Miller marked him at the 19, a gain of 3. So the 3rd possession tonight for Poly, no score here in the first quarter. As the Parrots set up in the shotgun, we'll run at least one more play here in the first quarter. Carter looks to the sidelines on the near side for the play. It's a 4-receiver package. with Carter in the shotgun and a running back left. They give to Atchison. And Atchison bulldozes his way to the 25. He lowered his shoulders and just ran over a defender. He's got the first down.
It was a heavy run.
That was Traylon Brown.
Yeah, I was going to say that was Traylon Brown, the 5'8", 150-pound senior. He just absolutely bulldozed that linebacker for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Brown, the leading rusher on the team with 132 yards. I say the leading rusher behind Quincy Carter, the quarterback. That is going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. So a surprise here in the first quarter, 12 minutes of action. No score between Grapevine and Poly as we switch sides. Parrots have got the football at their own 25 and on the move. This is Mustangs football on Champion Sports Radio.
For far too long, we have been known for what we are against. Let's be known for what we are for. Go to 4dfw.com to share the good, challenge, and amplify the good in your community. Join the challenge today at 4dfw.com.
Hey Grapevine, this is Karen Borda from CBS 11 News This Morning, and I just want to say congratulations on your 100th year of Mustangs football. As a football fan born and raised here in North Texas, that is an amazing example of history and tradition. And by the way, I hope you will join me weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7 a.m. for CBS 11 News This Morning. We've got everything you need to get your day started. So join me, Karen Borda, mornings on CBS 11 News, the ones for Texas.
Back to Clark Stadium in Fort Worth. We're scoreless after one quarter tonight. And Quincy Carter on first down and 10. He's got a lot of running room down the left side. He started to his right, cut back left, down the sideline, 40, 50, down to the 47. The ball came loose, and it's Poly football. Well, boy, there was a ton of real estate on the left side that opened up for Carter, and he's got the ball into Grapevine territory at the 40.
That wasn't the design of the play at all, but Anthony Shepard did such a fantastic job here on the near side blocking as the wide receiver that he opened up about 15 yards of space around the near end, and Quincy Carter, I should say, took full advantage.
Well, Carter now up over 200 yards rushing on the season. They've got the Parrots with the football at the Grapevine 41. This drive started back at their own 14. Opening seconds here of the second quarter, no score. 4 receivers. Carter stands in the shotgun. He's going deep down the right side. Had a man incomplete. Boy, there was a mix-up, looked like, in coverage. And open, streaking down the right side was Harold Connor. If Carter hits him in stride, that might be 6.
I'm not sure if Adrian White thought he had a flat zone or if he thought the safety, Keegan Courtney, was in man coverage. Either way, there was no one home for the Mustangs.
Second down and 10 for Carter and company. A long look to the sideline, sets his troops. Now they've got Traylon Brown, the running back, to the left of Carter in the shotgun. Grapevine bringing up an extra linebacker. They give us to Brown. Brown squirts through to the 38, tumbles there. Gain of close to 3, maybe 4 for the Parrots. Going to lead them about a 3rd down and 6 at the Mustangs 38.
You can see the Parrots want to run behind that left side of their offensive line. Daniel Ortiz at 6'3", was a first-team All-District performer last year, and their left guard, Jesus Perez, is 6'1", 310. So a lot of size on that left side of the offensive line. That's where the vast majority of their running plays are going towards.
Parrots operate with 2 running backs in the backfield. 12 seconds on the play clock. 3 receivers set. Grapevine brings up an outside linebacker in Alex Garay on the 3rd and 7. The handoff, stretch play running left. Garay's got him. Spins out of a tackle. Still on his feet, but bottled up. Back past the 45, all the way to the 48. A huge loss as that wave of Mustangs just kept on coming. Mason Shimkus pulled the ball out of the pile and was racing the other way, but already the whistles had blown, and a huge stop and a great blitz dialed up by Tanner Antle.
Well, that's the 3rd blitz that we've seen on a 3rd down. Grapevine wants to get Poly behind the chains, make it 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, where a running play might not get you to the chains and force them into a passing situation. In that instance, Poly does go ahead and run the football, but Grapevine has been very, very good on the blitz this season. I think Tanner Antle is feeling that more and more as the games go along, that this blitz gets home more often than not. I'd like to see that continue to increase.
Parrots will be forced to punt, their 2nd consecutive possession which they've had to punt. Antonio Serrano punts, and it's blocked at the line of scrimmage. Serrano falls on it, dives ahead to the 50. The ball's still loose, and it's squirted around at the 45. Grapevine's got it, racing up the sideline. Past midfield was Ben Gare as a three-ring circus broke out after that punt was blocked. The Mustangs are going to have it. And great field position for Grapevine as they will see where they spot this. They're going to spot it at what looks to be the Grapevine 47.
Well, Reagan, I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'd love to give Grapevine credit for the block. I think Serrano just kicked it off his own man. I think it was a low bullet that hit, I believe, number 2 in the back, and ping-ponged around. That would be Anthony Shepard that it came off of, but it's twice now. Creekview had a punt blocked last week. The Grapevine punt rush has caused some chaos and obviously created an advantage for their offense.
Mustangs have got it at their own 47. Cowgill play action fake, throws over the middle for Polk, diving attempt, miss, and just in and out of his hands at the 28. First time tonight that he's targeted Parker Polk, and he had to make a diving attempt, and it's incomplete.
That was a good route concept. It was cover 2 for the Parrots, and there was nobody home over the middle of the field. Cowgill had all the time in the world. He's just got to deliver a little bit cleaner of a pass there.
2nd and 10. Dixon and Navoa, the receivers to the right. Gare up top left. Edwards, the H-back left. From the shotgun, Cowgill throws. Edwards in the flat, slung down at the 48. Short gain of a yard, maybe 2. And we're seeing just great pursuit tonight from this linebacking core of Poly. That time, Serrano made the stop.
Yeah, they're flying to the football. When they're in coverage, they're sticking with their men. That was the first time on the last drive, I should say, the first time that Edwards had been open and unaccompanied, and clearly that is not the game plan for the Parrots. They want to take him away, especially underneath. This Poly defense has stepped up tonight, something that they haven't exactly shown the first 4 weeks to this level anyway.
It's a unit only giving up just about 20 points a game. We're scoreless right now. 3rd down and 8. Cowgill under duress, steps up, throws, pass caught by Navoa. Short gain at the 46, and then he is hammered out of bounds. Tackled by Trevor Johnson. Short of the first down by about 4 yards. Grapevine's going to be faced with a 4th and about 3, maybe 4 from the Parrots' 46.
Yeah, good defense. Again, good pressure coming from up the middle. Tadella has been very, very good. You've got Shamar Johnson on the other side. Grapevine looks like they're going to go for it.
Cowgill in the gun, 3 receivers with 2 to the wide left. The ball is on the right hash. Cowgill claps his hands hard. They're going to get a free play. They had movement up front. Slings it deep down the right side for Dixon and incomplete as he spun around. Got to make a leaping acrobatic catch at about the 15. But that is a free play and a great play call by Braden Smith.
Well, and it seemed as if the Poly coaching staff was almost yelling to remind their guys, don't jump. That may just be what they're trying to do. And fantastic job by the Mustang offense. You know, for Cowgill to stand in there and give a hard count that doesn't sound fake is so hard and difficult to do. The pros make it look easy, but it is absolutely not something that's simple to keep that same voice inflection to get someone to believe that this is the real snap.
So 8:27 left to go in the first half. No score. Mustangs have got it at the Poly 41. The inside handoff to Tejada, who jukes his way around at the 35. He gets to the second level, to the secondary at the 30, the 25, angles to the left, to the top of the numbers, to the 20. Goes Tejada, and it's another First Financial first down. One of the biggest plays tonight for Grapevine.
Boy, Tejada can operate in a phone booth, can he? I mean, so shifty. He had no space in the line of scrimmage and still manages to pop free and then still elude a couple of linebackers in the second level.
Late substitutions for Poly, and now whistles blow, and I think Poly got a timeout before that play was before that ball was snapped. So the Mustangs will have a chance to talk it over with Braden Smith. 7:59 to go in the first quarter, and finally, you know, I say for this is the second time really that the Parrots have been on their heels here tonight defensively. You go back to that previous drive for Grapevine, they got down to the 14-yard line. Grapevine did not convert on a 4th and inches. But it has been a surprising start tonight from what we've seen from Poly, really on both sides of the football.
No question. Grapevine's offense could not have been more efficient last week. Obviously, 74 points scored against Creekview, and they look to be clicking on all cylinders. Now, Creekview's defense certainly not even similar to what we're seeing on the field from Poly, but it was hard to imagine a game in which Grapevine's offense didn't come out and pick up right where they left off. And give credit to the Parrots and their defense. Russ Coons, their defensive coordinator, they have clearly schemed up a defensive game plan that has held Grapevine in check for the first quarter and the first little bit here of the second quarter. A defensive standstill is not what we expected when we showed up here at the stadium today.
Well, this is a tall task for Jeff Green taking over this program that he's put together back-to-back 4-win seasons. the most wins in a season since Poly went 6-5 back in 2009. This program's only had one winning season since 1973. Now out of the timeout, Cowgill throws over the middle, play action pass. It's caught. That's a touchdown. The Mustangs strike. That's Miguel Novoa, who scores his second touchdown of the season. And a quick strike. Grapevine leads 6-0 now with 7:52 to go in the first half.
It's just cover 2 again, and Poly gets caught in their base defense there. And I think Braden Smith realized that. That's just a simple post route that is right up the middle. It's designed to go right in between the two safeties, and that's exactly what happened. Even in man coverage, the cornerback is not going to have enough space to get back there. And Grapevine comes away with a touchdown.
J.D. Rice, the left-footed kicker, boots it through, and Grapevine strikes first tonight, 7-0. It took Grapevine almost 18 minutes to score the first points of the night. They lead at 7-0 over the Poly Parrots with 7:52 to go in the second quarter. This is Mustangs football on Champion Sports Radio.
We all have more trust in people connected to our community. Every year, Dr. Steve Parker raises money for community projects like Smiles for Life, Hope Farms, and Our Father's Children. Steve has donated hundreds of custom-fitted mouthguards to Grapevine football.
When you need a dentist, come to DFW Smiles. I'm Dr. Steve Parker. We'll take good care of you and your family.
Go to dfwsmiles.com or call 817-281-3444.
Grapevine lining up to kick it off. They have scored first and broken the seal on this game. As the Mustangs get a 20-yard touchdown pass from Max Cowgill to Miguel Novoa, his second touchdown pass of his young Mustang career, and Grapevine leads 7-0 over the Parrots of Poly with 7:52 left to go before halftime.
Kickoff for the Mustangs, and this will come down at about the 10-yard line. The 15, 20, 25. Flags come flying in, back from behind that return. Hammered at the 28-yard line on the return. We'll check the flags, and this could be coming back.
Yeah, it should be. There was an obvious hold from a Parrot at about the 15-yard line.
While they sort this out, get a chance to tell you that Mustang football tonight brought to you by Brown Chiropractic. Get your lifestyle back. Go see Dr. Kelly Brown, a former middle linebacker and captain for the Mustangs. Grapevine football also tonight brought to you by the Compass Church, where their mission is navigating people to God no matter your background. Learn more at mycompasschurch.com. It is holding on Poly, so they will have to start back at their own 10. This is their worst starting field position of the night. And with 7:42 to go in the second quarter, 7-0 Grapevine. Mustangs have got Poly pinned deep in their own territory. Traylon Brown is the running back to the left of Quincy Carter, who has flashed his dual threat skills tonight on the ground and through the air. He'll operate with 4 receivers, 2 each side, with the ball on the right hash at their own 10-yard line. Mustangs with 3 down linemen. Aiden Cassidy anchors the middle as the nose guard. Christian Watson and Nicholas Chavoyer, the defensive ends. Carter steps up. Looks like he maybe wants to change the play. Play clock at 13, snaps it, gives it to Brown. Started left, cuts back to his right, trying to bounce it outside. He's wrestled to the turf at the 14. Gain of about 3.
Welcome back, Aiden Cassidy. He blew up that play from the jump, just won his matchup as soon as the ball was snapped. Cassidy 6'2", 265. Mustangs are certainly glad to have him anchoring this 3-4 defense over the nose guard.
It was a gain of 4 for Brown, 2nd and 6, with 7:15 and counting in the second quarter, 7-0 Mustangs. 2 receivers split each side with the ball on the right hash. Grapevine rushes 3, Carter to throw. A little bubble pass out to Brown, slips and falls at the 9. And they'll call him down right there. Brown, not a guy that, in fact, that they involve in the passing game. That is his first reception of the year, and he actually loses yards. And this is going to be a loss of about 4 or maybe 5 back to their own 9.
Well, he's going to hate to see that in the stat sheet this week. That's the second or third time I've seen someone slip on this turf, by the way, tonight. Obviously, it hasn't rained recently. I guess it rained two and a half days ago, but with the high winds, you would think that the field would be completely dry tonight.
They have been playing football here at Clark Stadium since 1970. It is an AstroTurf surface here at Clark Stadium. Now on a 3rd down and 11. Carter sprints to his right. Here comes Heat. He just lobs it up, and that ball nearly picked off. It is, but it's out of bounds. Skying for what would have been the interception up top, maybe even Savion Shockley, but it's incomplete, and Poly will have to punt, and this is a dangerous predicament for them. Last time Serrano's punt was blocked, and he's going to have to punt this from his own end zone. And
when you mentioned the first time, he's got kind of a rugby-style kick. Grapevine has blocked 2 punts now this season, and they've been very, very close on several more. You talk about eliminating room to operate for Serrano, and he's absolutely in the danger zone as a couple of Mustangs back off, but here they come.
And he rolled to his right. He gets away a high, wobbly kick. It comes down at the 36, fair caught by Gare. They're going to say that Gare actually stopped his momentum at the 37 is where Grapevine will get this football. But this is the second time tonight that Grapevine has started on Poly's end. Their opening possession tonight was at the Parrot 42. This one, their best starting position, at the Poly 37.
Well, you certainly hope, if you're the Mustangs, that this drive turns out a little bit better than that first one did. But the Mustang offense looked like its normal self on the last possession. It feels like maybe it just took them a couple of possessions to get their rhythm going. And give credit to Poly. They've taken away the passing lanes, and they've gotten pressure on Max Cowgill tonight.
1st and 10 from the Parrot 37. 6:06 remaining in the first half. Inside handoff to Hada. He gets to the second level, squirts through at the 30 to the 25 and down to the 21. And boy, Tejada doesn't need much. He's got great vision, and he popped through.
Tell you what, as great of a game plan as Russ Coons has come in with tonight, it is impossible to game plan for someone as dynamic as Caleb Tejada.
First financial first down for Grapevine. Tejada again back to the ground. Breaks a tackle. 15-10. Carries a tackler on his back to the 8. We've seen the elusiveness of Tejada. That time you see his power.
Well, he's a cheat code. He can do it all. He can carry defenders a couple extra yards. He can make you miss. He can catch passes out of the backfield. An absolute mismatch for the Mustangs.
He's down to the 6. Mustangs on the move. Again, Tejada takes the handoff, slices his way back to the right. He stood up to the 1, still driving his feet. He's inside the 1 and maybe about a half a yard away from the goal line.
Well, his teammates trying to give him the bush push there on the goal line. They're going to come up just shy, but, I mean, not by much. So now there's a flag that's been thrown?
Well, that came in right as Grapevine was getting up to the line of scrimmage. It's a sideline warning on Poly. That may have come against their coaching staff. You got all the kids, all the players are back behind that line.
It was. I didn't see them on the field, but I tell you what, these officials may not be taking any verbal abuse from the coaching staff. I wonder if there's some sort of yelling and shouting going on between the coaches and the officials that they're just not having. That's the second sideline warning of the night so far.
Really taking in those social distancing guidelines.
No kidding.
Pushing everybody back on both sides. Here's a second down and goal from inside the 1. Cowgill play action. Quick slant. Caught. Gare. Touchdown. Boy, that was a rope thrown from Cowgill to Gare. It is Gare's 4th touchdown reception of the season. Cowgill's 10th on the, or 11th on the year, and it's now 13-0 Mustangs.
It's just a beautiful goal line route concept where you have Gare coming inside on a quick slant. You have a wide receiver going out and not throwing a pick. That's not what the offense will ever call it, but creating traffic so that the cornerback has a hard time getting around that. And Gare was wide open. Great play design, great execution by the Mustangs.
J.D. Rice for the extra point. It's true, and it's 14-0 Grapevine. Well, after not scoring up until the 7:52 mark of the first half, or the second quarter, Grapevine, now with 4:52 remaining until the half, they've got a 14-0 lead over Poly. This is Mustangs football on Champion Sports Radio.
The Grapevine Mustangs win. It is what we do. And now, you too can be a winner and join the Grapevine Mustangs. At the Big Fish Golf Tournament auction, one lucky winning bidder will get to have their very own radio commercials played during the final 5 Grapevine Mustang games, as well as the playoff run. Make sure to be at Big Fish on Main Street on November the 2nd at 2:30 to join the auction and place your winning bid.
Grapevine set to kick off here as they lead 14-0 over the Poly Parrots. That touchdown drive completed with a 1-yard touchdown strike from Max Cowgill, his 11th of the season, to Ben Gare, his 4th touchdown reception of the season. And the Mustangs, I should say, lead 14-0 over the Parrots.
There's Shepard on the return. trying to find some room outside to the left, and he outran some defenders up until about the 26, and then he was shoved out of bounds. Tyler Mears was over there, and Latham Y also over there to knock him out of bounds. So with 4:42 to go in the first half, there is a flag at the 34 as the officials come over to confer. I want to tell Nick Bass and Greenleaf Roofing, thank you so much for their support. Greenleaf Roofing is DFW's preferred roofing company, the official roofing company of Champion Sports Radio. Find out why they have a ton of lifelong customers for yourself and get a free quote by visiting greenleaf-roofing.com. It is another holding on Poly. This will push them back to their own 18. It's been a bit of a storyline tonight. It's just starting field position. Poly has not helped themselves as they've had to start really for the fourth time tonight deep in their own territory.
Well, an offense, too, that's not explosive by nature. They're not going to hurt you with a deep downfield pass. They've got to rely on that ground and pound, and they've had some decent runs, but I don't know that you would call their running plays explosive. So bad starting field position certainly continues to stack the deck against a 1-3 Poly team.
So from their own 18, football is on the left hash. Two running backs, one on each side of Quincy Carter. They give to Atchison. He's got a hold out of the 20, 25, 30, burst into the secondary, slung down at the 36. And not Atchison, that was actually Edward Blanton, who's typically a receiver. They moved him into the backfield. He's got a big gain off left tackle.
And we're going to know where Blanton is at all times. He's got these neon orange sleeves protruding from, I don't know, what would you call it, a stock orange or a burnt orange color that the Parrots are sporting tonight?
I don't think Texas would call that a burnt orange.
No, I don't think so either.
I like your stock orange. I will go with that. But definitely, the long sleeves are neon.
Yes.
And we will not confuse Blanton with anybody else tonight. He's to the right of Carter. 1st and 10 at the Poly 36. Grapevine's bringing the house on a blitz. Blanton's bottled up, now bounces it out to the right. The bowling ball gets to about the 40 before he's bottled up and brought down. There's all sorts of yellow laundry on the field as flags came flying in. You might see another hold.
I think there could have been two holds there on the Parrots. I believe they're going to get big number 77, Elijah Dixon, for a hold there. There was a reason why Traylon Brown was able to bounce it outside. It was because Aiden Cassidy was being incarcerated by the right guard.
Well, Brown's coming out, and it is Trevor Atchison coming in. It's a change of pace with the running backs. You know, Atchison a little more elusive. You saw Blanton, too. Blanton wants to do one thing, and that's run over somebody.
He does, absolutely. He kind of reminds me of a Trey Carson type of running back who played for Texas A&M a couple of years ago. He's had a cup of coffee in the NFL as well. Just very wide. He wants to run in a straight line. Don't get him going east and west. That's not what he does best.
Well, the holding penalty brings it all the way back to their own 24-yard line. Inside 4 minutes to go in the first half. 14-0 Grapevine. Mustangs with 3 down linemen. They walk Garay up for the outside linebacker position. 2 running backs in the shotgun is Carter. Play clock at 10. Handoff, and it is Blanton. He's bottled up and met rudely at the 25. And it looked like Shimkus was over there. Jackson Yarbrough in on the stop as well. And a 2nd and a long 20 coming up.
Good job by the linebackers fighting through and getting past that line of scrimmage. This is a beefy offensive line, and the Mustangs have had a little bit of trouble penetrating so far tonight, but the linebackers rallying up right there. I'll tell you a maybe a more relatable comparison for Traylon Brown here in just a second.
There's a 2nd down. Call it 21. Trips to the wide side right. Mustangs rush 3. Carter on a design quarterback keeper on the draw. He's got a big hole. 35, 40, cuts outside. Look out down the sideline. 40, 35 deep into Mustangs territory. Angles out of bounds at the 34. Boy, Carter can make things happen with his feet, and he's got his 2nd big run of the night.
He did, and just fantastic blocking there by the Parrots. They won basically every single one of their individual matchups as we get another look at it on the big Jumbotron. They had offensive linemen 10 yards downfield knocking linebackers off their spot, and poor Cameron Wagner for the Mustangs at the bandit position. He was just all alone there. He picked left, and Quincy Carter went right. Now you had to chase him down deep inside Mustang territory.
Carter operates with trips wide side right. 2:58 to go in the first half. 14-0 Mustangs. They bring an outside blitz. Carter keeps. He ran the opposite way of that blitz. Gets to the 25 and 24. Perfectly designed play from where the blitz was coming. And another first down.
Well, and you wonder how much sovereignty Carter has over the play calling because, as you said, the Mustangs showed their hand. They showed that they were coming with the blitz from the far side of the field. You wonder if Carter has the wherewithal to pull that instinctively even on a design dive.
Atchison stands behind Carter as he looks to the sideline. Atchison looks like he'd be in the pistol, and he is. Now he sets him to the right. Again, trips wide side right. Mustangs with 3 down linemen. Carter passing the flat, hit immediately in a loss of about 5. Jackson Yarborough came up and stuck Edward Blanton for a loss of 4.
You said pistol. That got me thinking maybe this is a Pistol Pete orange, an Oklahoma State
there
orange.
There you go. Now we can go with that. That really paints the picture now for our audience. You're right on. The orange and the black, it does have an Oklahoma State.
Yeah, you're right.
Oklahoma State look.
We're going to have people from Stillwater all over us now.
Right. 150 counting. First half, 14-0 Grapevine. 2 backs into the backfield. The handoff, stretch play, running left, and hurtling at the 26. Edward Blanton tried to sky over Yarborough, and Yarborough took his legs out from under him.
He tried. A for effort. The execution didn't go as planned. I think maybe at night when he's thinking about his highlights, it was going a little bit differently in his head, but a good job by Yarborough to make sure he got something on that tackle.
3rd down and 12 with 1:20 to go in the half. 14-0 Mustangs. Parrots deep in Grapevine territory. You got to think this is 4-down territory for the Parrots. 3 receivers, 2 backs. Carter's in the shotgun. Stretch play. Blanton looked like he was going to throw it, then he's walloped to the 26. I think he wanted to throw that football. There was good coverage, no fake that was bid on. In the secondary, Cameron Wagner, I believe, was the safety that was over the top.
Yeah, he didn't get a block. I think that he was looking for to be able to throw that. They had Anthony Shepard, the 6'1 freshman, coming down the near sideline, and it was Cameron Wagner, the safety, who was over the top. I think they were going to try and throw a jump ball to the freshman. Now, the interesting thing was Shepard just ran out of bounds. I don't know if he realized where he was on the field. Maybe he was looking back for the ball, but Shepard ran out of bounds without Wagner touching him. So I don't know what exactly the object of that play was, but whatever it was, it did not work. And now Parrots with a real dilemma. Only 53 seconds left on the clock, but they've got 4th and an uncomfortable distance for a run-first offense.
That's a 4th down and 12. Mustangs lead 14-0. Want to tell you right now, with the timeout called on the field at the half, Mitch Mason had a great visit earlier in the week, and you'll hear that at halftime with Mustangs offensive line coach Cody Kovac on our Get to Know the Mustangs segment. We'll take you through our summary of the first half, tell you how we arrived at our score. Right now, it's only 14-0. This is a Grapevine team that's outscored Poly 134-7 in their last 2 meetings. Talk about dominance.
Ouch.
That has not been the case tonight. This is a Poly team that coaching staff led by Jeff Green. They've put together a great game plan. They've been right in it from the start. And here's a big 4th down and 12. Out of the timeout, in the shotgun, pistol formation. Carter, play action, over the middle, incomplete. Here comes a flag flying from the other end of the field out of the secondary. That would tell you some kind of defensive holding in the secondary or maybe pass interference. Boy, Carter had a man open at the sticks. But that flag, I bet that flag sailed about 25 yards.
That was an impressive throw. I wonder if that ref has any eligibility left. It's going to be on Savion Shockley. I think it's going to be for a defensive hold. He tried to jam his man at the line of scrimmage and got beat. And unfortunately, got a fistful of jersey. I do believe there's a defender. It's Jackson Yarborough who's pleading his case with the official on the far sideline.
Well, that call is on Shockley. Now, Shockley is the corner on the top side of this formation all the way across the field from where that flag was thrown.
I mean, that was a 30-yard toss.
You're not kidding. Not only great arm strength, but incredible vision by that official down here, the line judge. Right at he's about the 1-yard line, and that flag, if you can picture this, is on the opposite hash across the field. Probably 10 yards or so above the top of the numbers. That is quite a throw as these officials sort it out. They're trying to make the determination here on what the call is and where the ball will be spotted.
Well, Jeff Green would like to know where his son goes to school.
Right, you're not kidding. Well, they're going to, let's see. The officials picked up the flag, but they've not waved it off. It was a 4th down and 12. It is pass interference on Grapevine. This is going to give Poly a fresh set of downs, and plenty of time.
That's unfortunate.
They've got 2 timeouts to work with, and the Parrots are deep in Grapevine territory, only trailing 14-0.
Now, how did the clock go back to 58? We were at 56 seconds before the last play, weren't we? Oh, 102, I'm being told. So, never mind. Yeah, that's a huge mistake for Grapevine. Shockley just got a little too much of the jersey of that receiver. He's matched up on Harold Connor, who stands at 6 feet tall. Shockley is a diminutive 5'7".
Poly has the ball at the Grapevine 19 with a fresh set of downs. Out of a 2-back set in the shotgun that gives to Blanton, he's drilled immediately. He did get about 3, but boy, did he pay a price as he went into the interior front of that defensive line.
Shimkiss came up and made that tackle, and boy, he planted his feet in the ground and drove forward. He was not letting the ball carrier get another inch.
3-year letterman at middle linebacker. The team leader in tackles is Shimkiss. Clock still rolling, 35 seconds and counting. 2nd down and 8. Carter's going to throw from the shotgun. Heaves it into the flat, caught at the 10. Breaks a tackle down the sideline to the 5. And in to the end zone is DJ Price. A 5'10", 185-pound junior receiver. And we got us a ball game. 24 seconds to go until the half. And it's now 14-6 Grapevine.
Keegan Courtney, the safety, the roving safety on that play, I think went for the hit. Did not wrap up his man and just bounced off of him, unfortunately. And you're right, Pauly answers here with just a couple of seconds left in the first half. It's a big break for the Parrots squad that has been uncompetitive so far in most of their games.
Now Luis Martinez for the extra point. He's got a booming right leg. Nails it right through the uprights. And it's 14-7. Would you have thought this with 24 seconds to go until halftime that the Mustangs have a 7-point lead over Fort Worth Poly? Final 24 seconds of this first half coming your way next here on Champion Sports Radio.
Living in North Texas provides all of us with an amazing quality of life, including an affordable cost of living, outstanding schools, unbelievable cultural opportunities, and the best sports around. But we also have to put up with severe storms. Hi folks, Champion Sports Radio President and Founder Thomas Lee here to tell you when a hail or windstorm comes through your neighborhood, do what we did and call Greenleaf Roofing. Greenleaf Roofing is a fully insured, locally owned and operated company built on the values of amazing craftsmanship, affordable options, and innovative solutions. And they are proud that those values still stand as a foundation for their business today. And did I mention Greenleaf Roofing has 24-hour emergency service available? It's nice to know Greenleaf Roofing will be there in a hurry if you need them. After the first experience, I became a customer for life and have used them on 3 different homes. But don't just take my word for it. Learn about the Greenleaf Roofing difference yourself by calling them at 972-379-9109 or go online to greenleaf-roofing.com to find out how you can get your free quote. Greenleaf Roofing, the #1 choice for all your roofing needs.
Well, Oklahoma State orange clad Poly Parrots ready to kick off as this one will be a short kick. It bounces off of a Mustang at the 30-yard line, and it's picked up by Addison Davis. He'll run it to the far side of the field and be taken down at the 30-yard line. And all of a sudden, this is a game. As the Poly Parrots, a team that had scored 30 total points in 4 games coming in, they trail 14-7 after a 16-yard touchdown pass from Quincy Carter to DJ Price. And Reagan, that's the first touchdown pass through the air for the Poly Parrots this season. It really shouldn't have happened. Grapevine got in some penalty trouble there, and now they're going to find themselves up just 1 score getting ready to go into the half.
There is a man down for Poly at the 22-yard line at Grapevine. Immediately went down on that tackle, and the training staff for Poly, along with head coach Jeff Green, sprinted out there. Now, the good news is he's up on his feet, and he'll be able to jog off on his own willpower. Check the number on that, and that might be Omarion Millsap, the star linebacker for Poly.
He tried to go rejoin the huddle.
Yeah, he did. He's chomping at the bit to get back out there. This Parrots team is right in it. 15 seconds to go in the first half. Grapevine starts at their own 31. Mustangs have scored touchdowns on back-to-back drives. They'll have to go 69 yards in 15 seconds with 3 timeouts to make it 3 consecutive drives. They lead 14-7. Cal Gill in the shotgun 4-receiver package. Inside handoff. Tejada's got some running room. Runs over a tackler at the 35, 40 to the 42. Spun down and a financial first down for the Mustangs. Quick timeout with 6 seconds left, and they'll have time for one more play.
They need to put 3 more seconds left on that clock. I don't think they're going to get it, but the whistle was blown with about 9.5 seconds left, and the clock sits at 6 seconds right now. So unfortunate clock management there. But Grapevine, Reagan, as we talked about, has dominated this series. They won their last game against Poly 70-0 3 years ago.
This is a much better coached football team under Jeff Green. Give his staff a lot of credit since coming over from Burleson in 2018. He was an assistant there. This is his first head coaching job. I've been very impressed with what him and defensive coordinator Russ Coons and offensive coordinator Brad Evelyn have done. No matter what happens in the last 6 seconds, this score, as it stands right now, is, I think, one of the shocking scores in the state of Texas, at least at halftime.
No question about it. Grapevine has a 2-2 record, but they've shown themselves to be a very decent football team. As now the clock shows 0.8 seconds. That's not right either. We'll see what they end up putting up on the clock. I think they're trying to put it to 8 seconds and give Grapevine a little bit of help, but there's going to be an alarm clock buzzer here in a second if they don't fix that. Yeah,
Grapevine's at the line of scrimmage, and Mike Alexander said that's got to be at 8 seconds. Well, Grapevine has it at their own 42. What do you see here? Tejada's obviously a weapon on the ground,
sure.
but do you go to the air right here, you think?
I think you have to. Cowgill has the arm. I was watching him warm up earlier. He was throwing the ball 35, 40 yards in the air without difficulty, so I think you have to let it loose here.
Maybe a little hook and ladder or something deep. Cowgill under pressure is sacked back at the 37. I believe the freshman Shamar Johnson, 6 foot, 185-pound defensive end, hopped on his back, and not the way Grapevine wanted to end the first half of action. We've got us a ball game here at Clark Stadium tonight. Grapevine 14, Poly 7 as both these teams jog down towards the south end zone, towards the locker rooms, and the Mustangs lead it by 7 as we go to the break. Lots to come on the halftime show presented by Greenleaf Roofing coming up. Again, Mitch Mason visits with Grapevine offensive line coach Cody Kovac on our edition of Get to Know the Mustangs. We'll also take you through some scores around the Metroplex and give you our first half summary, how we arrived at a 14-7 Grapevine lead as we go to the half. This is Mustangs football on Champion Sports Radio.
Are you showing your support for the Grapevine Mustangs in style? Check out the latest Mustangs gear at the Spirit Shop at all the home games on the north side of the stadium, or log on to shop.ghsmustangs.merchorders.com to check out the latest gear.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But WhirlyBall is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, WhirlyBall in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your WhirlyBug for a WhirlyBall competition, or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Are you a member of the Grapevine Mustangs Booster Club? Do you know about the many things that the Booster Club does to support your team? Log on to ghsmustangs.com to learn more about how you can help and support your Grapevine Mustangs.
Cryo Nation is an official partner of Mustang football.
Get cold, not old, at Cryo Nation.
The cold treatment does a body good.
Our cryo slimming and cryo lifting will naturally destroy fat cells, remove cellulite, and reduce the signs of aging.
Cryo Nation is great for those who overdo it now, even though you might have played Mustang football a few years back.
Recover faster, feel invincible, look incredible. Make an appointment at cryonation.com today. Cryo Nation, an official partner of Mustang football.
Visit the #1 cryo center in the nation. Simple, sustainable solutions for recovery and wellness. That's what you'll find at Cryo Nation. And walk-ins are welcome. Monday through Friday from 9 to 1 and 3 to 7. And on Saturdays from 9 to 1 and 2 to 5. Whether you're trying to get over an auto accident or just want to get your lifestyle back, the outstanding team at Brown Chiropractic Center is dedicated to helping you reach your goals.
I firmly believe that when your body is aligned, it functions much better, just like a race car performs at top speed when it's properly aligned. When you need an adjustment, come to Brown Chiropractic Center.
Chiropractic treatment can be used to treat a wide variety of physical issues such as migraines and headaches, chronic pain, carpal tunnel, pain due to injury or muscle strain, and of course, back issues.
I know what it's like to get banged up playing sports. I was a Mustang linebacker and loved it most of the time. I had help healing my aching back from a chiropractor in high school. When you need help to get back on the field, make an appointment with Dr. Kelly Brown at Brown Chiropractic Center.
Brown Chiropractic Center, an official partner of Team 100.
I'm Dr. Brown. I played for the Mustangs in 1977, and I want to wish the players, coaches, and parents the best of luck.
Online at brown-chiropractic-center.com.
Welcome back to the halftime show. Grapevine and Poly High School playing this evening on a gorgeous Friday night in Fort Worth. Right now it's time for our most popular halftime segment, the Get to Know the Mustangs segment, where we let you get behind the scenes of what goes on for these Grapevine coaches and let you get to know them a little bit. And tonight we've got the offensive line coach for the Grapevine Mustangs, Cody Kovac, with us. Cody, thank you so much for joining the program tonight.
Absolutely.
First question that I have for everybody as they come on is just to describe their football journey. It's an interesting sport to get into, to play, and then ultimately to coach, and everyone has unique paths to get there. I'm curious to hear about your journey to this great sport.
Sure. Well, I grew up in Lewisville, Texas. I was a fighting farmer. I started playing football at a young age, and I've always been an offensive lineman. Grew up playing I played in the City League in Lewisville, and then I played middle school and high school, obviously. I played center. I had the opportunity to go play at a small college in Sherman called Austin College, and I played there for 4 years, played offensive line, played center. And, I just had a great experience playing, and I had a lot of coaches who poured a lot into me, and I wanted to do the same, so I got into coaching a few years after I graduated from college, after I did a couple other jobs, and this will be my 4th year coaching now.
Yeah, and that's so often what you hear is guys that just fall in love with the coaching side of it after playing, and it's great to hear that you have that as well. When you came to Grapevine and you took over as an offensive line coach, what were some of the challenges, I guess, that come with coaching an offensive line as opposed to, or a high school offensive line, I should say, as opposed to maybe playing and being able to handle it all yourself?
Sure. I was fortunate my first year here to be the assistant offensive line coach to a guy named Ryan Eichner. He's a great coach. Kind of got to learn a little bit from him, and now this year getting to add my own flair to things as the offensive line coach. And really, it's just about getting a group of guys in a room that gel and they take care of each other, and that they're willing to play with each other. And bottom line, you got to find guys that are going to be they're going to be intelligent. Offensive linemen are the smartest guys on the field, and they're going to be physical, and they're going to be able to do their job and take care of the guys carrying the football and continue to be selfless. And I think that you got to coach kids to be a technician, consistently pursue excellence in their technique and their physicality and knowing their assignment. I guess the biggest challenge in that was just, I don't know if it's necessarily even a challenge. Just got to build relationships with the kids and kind of get them to fall in love with what they're doing, and then the rest will kind of take care of itself.
One of the storylines that Reagan and I have chronicled as this season has gone along is an increase in size in this year's offensive line as opposed to last year. Last year, it felt like there were a lot of stunts going on, guys having to maybe do more than what would normally be asked of them. But this year, you've got an offensive line that's, a pretty good size for the level of football that we play with. How much does size factor into the equation when you get a group of guys and you're looking to mold them into the scheme that you want to coach?
Sure, yeah. I mean, up front, you always want the obviously being bigger is better up front. But at the end of the day, if you get a kid who can be a technician and understand what the goal of a play is and how to take steps and how to put their body in the right place and how to have their hips on the right angle. Size isn't as big a factor. Now, we're blessed and fortunate to have some big kids up front this year, and we're pretty young up front, which is also another blessing. But I think size is definitely a piece of it, but more so it's technique and understanding the overall scheme and goal of plays that we're running.
Talking to Cody Kovac here on the halftime segment, Get to Know the Mustangs. And Cody, you've got two brothers this year on the offensive line, and Drake and Dylan Beckwith. How long did it take for you to, stop maybe calling Drake Dylan or Dylan Drake, or were you just kind of accurate right off the jump?
It's kind of funny. Dylan was on defense when I got here, and he came over to the offensive line this year, and I mean he's done a great job. And those two they're great for us this year, and they're going to continue to get better on through their junior year and into their senior year. And I haven't really ever mixed them up too much. They're one's about 3 inches taller than the other, so. But I mean, they're great kids and they work hard. I mean, and they gel. They're like a good guacamole. They gel well together. You got your tomatoes and your avocados. They do well together.
Oh man, a man after my own heart. Calling out guacamole here. I asked that question because I have the same situation with me and my brother. He's about 2 inches taller than me, but it doesn't matter. I still get mistaken for him all the time. So I was hoping maybe that was a problem that other people had. I guess not. Well, Max Livingston makes his first career start tonight in place of Josh Logan, who's unavailable. What have you seen from Max as just a sophomore, but continuing to fill in that theme of just big size up front?
Yeah, Max. I mean, he was on the freshman team last year, and he did really well at tackle. And this year we were hoping to have a third tackle, and we didn't know who it was going to be, and we had to cultivate a lot of competition for that job coming into the season. And Max just continuously attacked the day, continuously tried to get better. He asks questions. He does things right. He's gotten better, so much throughout the course of the season so far. I'm really excited for him to get some opportunities tonight to play a little bit more and just get reps and continue to get better. I mean, he's just hungry to be good. And like I said, we're pretty young up front. He's one of 3 seniors that will have dressed tonight. I mean, 3 sophomores that will have dressed tonight on the offensive line. They're just hungry kids, and they want to get better, and they care about the guys they're blocking for, and they care about each other. So I'm excited for Max to get that opportunity tonight.
Well, my last question for you, Cody, you get to work with these guys that are obviously still growing as young men. What is your favorite part about getting to work with these high school athletes and getting to work in a community that's as closely knit as Grapevine is?
Sure. Coaching is, it's a calling, and I think, my faith is kind of rooted in my philosophy in coaching, and it's just exciting getting to see these guys grow as young men and the things that they can learn from the game. Football parallels life so much, and the ups and downs of the course of the game and practice and the season, and how you respond to that, and just seeing kids respond and grow in character and grow into young men, is the most fun part of it. And again, coaching the offensive line, it's a blessing. I love coaching offensive linemen. I love playing offensive line, and it's, they're one of a kind. It's a selfless position,
Well, Cody, we really appreciate you joining us for a little bit tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure, and enjoyed getting to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, there he goes, Cody Kovac, the offensive line coach of your Grapevine Mustangs, and we certainly hope that y'all are enjoying these interviews as much as we are getting to do them. Just a fantastic staff, men of quality and character that are working here at Grapevine, and it's fun to get to hear their life stories and their approaches to coaching. On the other side of the break, we kick off the third quarter as Grapevine and the Poly Parrots continue playing. You're listening to Grapevine Mustangs football on Champion Sports Radio.
Living in North Texas provides all of us with an amazing quality of life, including an affordable cost of living, outstanding schools, unbelievable cultural opportunities, and the best sports around. But we also have to put up with severe storms. Hi folks, Champion Sports Radio President and founder Thomas Lee here to tell you when a hail or windstorm comes through your neighborhood, do what we did and call Greenleaf Roofing. Greenleaf Roofing is a fully insured, locally owned and operated company built on the values of amazing craftsmanship, affordable options, and innovative solutions. And they are proud that those values still stand as a foundation for their business today. And did I mention Greenleaf Roofing has 24-hour emergency service available? It's nice to know Greenleaf Roofing will be there in a hurry if you need them. After the first experience, I became a customer for life and have used them on 3 different homes. But don't just take my word for it. Learn about the Greenleaf Roofing difference yourself by calling them at 972-379-9109 or go online to greenleaf-roofing.com to find out how you can get your free quote. Greenleaf Roofing, the #1 choice for all your roofing needs.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand.
Look at a 14-7 lead for the Mustangs at the half over Fort Worth Poly. Probably not what a lot of the experts expected tonight. A 7-point game between Grapevine and Poly here at the half. We're about 10 minutes away from kicking things off in the third quarter. Gives us a chance to share with you some scores. We'll go tonight through the Class 5A Division I, Division II scoreboard across the Metroplex. A few finals that are in. As well as most of these games are about to the point that we are at the half. Let's start out in 5A Division I. In the second quarter tonight between Burleson Centennial and Birdville. Centennial on top of Birdville by a score of 35-7. It is Brewer leading Granbury 17-0 in the second quarter. Carrollton Newman Smith shutting out R.L. Turner 8-0. That's in the first quarter. At the half, Colleyville Heritage doubling up Midlothian 28-14. You've got Frisco Independence all over Denton tonight, 49-7. That's in the second quarter. Frisco Wakeland has a 10-point edge over Frisco Heritage, 24-14. That's in the second quarter. Highland Park 21-7 lead over Sherman. That's in the second quarter. Justin Northwest running roughshod over Saginaw tonight, 44-13. Still yet to get to the half in that one. That one is in the second quarter. And then we've got Longview blanking Wiley East 17-0 in the first quarter. Here's a final for you. Mansfield Summit 39, Mansfield Legacy 7 is Summit gets a runaway victory over Legacy. Then in the first quarter, West Mesquite 10, McKinney North 7. And then one final score at the 5A Division I level, Red Oak tonight, big over Richland 23-3. From the Division I to the Division II ranks in Class 5A, you've got Aledo on top of Arlington Seguin 30-12. At the half, Burleson, led by former Dallas Cowboy quarterback John Kitna, they've got a 28-7 advantage over Cleburne at the half. Greenville shutting out Corsicana 14-0 in the second quarter. And then in the DISD, Dallas Jefferson 17, Dallas Adamson nothing. Denison on top of Frisco Memorial 28-19 in the second quarter. Ennis leads Roy City 21-6 late first quarter in that one. Everman on top of Waco University 21-7 in the second quarter. And then here in District 4-5A, Fort Worth Northside in a close one over O.D. Wyatt 21-14. Northside with a 7-point lead. That's at halftime. Frisco 26, Frisco Liberty 13 in the second quarter. Mansfield running away from Joshua tonight 35-7 at the half. And then one final score at the Division II level, South Oak Cliff 10, Mesquite Poteet 8. That's in the second quarter. Both these teams beginning to emerge from the locker room where Grapevine has a 14-7 edge at halftime. When we come back, Mitch Mason will take you through our first half summary, tell you how we arrived at that 14-7 score. Mustangs will get the football to start the second half. All that's right around the corner here on Champion Sports Radio, and our halftime report presented to you by Greenleaf Roofing.
We all have more trust in people connected to our community. Every year, Dr. Steve Parker raises money for community projects like Smiles for Life, Hope Farms, and Our Father's Children. Steve has donated hundreds of custom-fitted mouthguards to Grapevine football.
When you need a dentist, come to DFW Smiles. I'm Dr. Steve Parker. We'll take good care of you and your family.
Go to dfwsmiles.com or call 817-281-3444.
Hey Grapevine, this is Karen Borda from CBS 11 News This Morning, and I just want to say congratulations on your 100th year of Mustangs football. As a football fan born and raised here in North Texas, that is an amazing example of history and tradition. And by the way, I hope you will join me weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7 a.m. for CBS 11 News This Morning. We've got everything you need to get your day started. So join me, Karen Borda, mornings on CBS 11 News, the ones for Texas.
Want to learn more about your Grapevine Mustangs after each game? Each week of the season, you can go to ghsmustangs.com to see and hear from the head coach of the Mustangs on the Coach Mike Alexander Show. The Coach Mike Alexander Show is sponsored again this year by Kim Assad with Compass. For far too long, the church has been known for what it is against. At Compass Christian Church, we want to be known for what we are for. We are for the Grapevine Mustangs. We are for the community. We are for you. No matter where you've been or what you've done, you matter to God and you matter to us. We invite you to experience a place where you can connect with God, others, and your purpose. Learn more about Compass at compass.church. That's compass.church.
Welcome back to Clark Stadium. Grapevine and Poly getting ready for the second half of action as both teams warming up on the field one more time. And boy, I tell you what, this game has not gone according to plan for Grapevine. I think we expected a much higher offensive output for the Mustangs as it stands 14-7. The Mustangs lead the Parrots. For Poly, it has been a defensive showcase as they have really stopped much of what Grapevine does well on the offensive side. And give you a look at the first half summary to let you know how we got here. Grapevine did score first tonight. It was back and forth, 3 and outs. Grapevine had an interception. The Parrots ended up punting on that possession. Grapevine then turned it over on downs. It just went back and forth. All through the first quarter, it was scoreless. And then halfway through the second quarter, with 7:52 left, Grapevine broke the seal of the game. And Max Cowgill delivered a 20-yard touchdown pass to Miguel Navoa, his second touchdown pass of the season. And Grapevine led 7-0. Was 7:52. Grapevine would then score on the subsequent drive. They had a 38-yard drive, and it was capped off with a 1-yard touchdown pass from Max Cowgill to Ben Gare on the goal line. It was the 11th touchdown pass of the season, the second of the night for Cowgill, and the 4th touchdown pass caught for Ben Gare on the season. That was with 4 and change left to go. But then Poly got the ball back and drove all the way down the field, using up basically the remainder of the first half. And with 23 seconds left, the first touchdown pass of the season thrown by Quincy Carter went for 16 yards. It was a pass from Carter to DJ Price. Again, this Poly team coming in just had 184 total yards through the air. Carter had thrown 2 interceptions and no touchdowns coming in. And they get their first aerial strike of the season tonight here against Grapevine. So that brings us to where we are now at the half, just a couple minutes before we kick off in the second half. The Mustangs will get the ball to start the third quarter, but this is a ball game as both teams 1-0 in district play, looking for their second win in a row in district play. For Grapevine, it would be their third win in a row. For Poly, it would be their second win in a row, and boy, a much-needed win, as we've talked about all night long, as Jeff Green continues to turn this program around. A program that has not had a winning season since 2009, and they're looking to buck that trend and upset the Grapevine Mustangs here tonight. That'll do it for the first half recap. When we come back, Reagan brings you back. We'll go over the key storylines and set you up for the second half of football. You're listening to Grapevine Mustangs Radio on Champion Sports Radio.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company.
As the Mustangs charge out from their locker room there on the south end. The Mustangs with a 14-7 lead over Fort Worth Poly. Let's take a look back at our key storylines coming into the night. Had some question marks in the offensive line with Josh Logan, the right tackle, being out of tonight's game due to injury. Max Livingston, big sophomore, steps in. And what's been your impressions of the sophomore?
I think Max has done a tremendous job so far tonight. There's only one pressure that I could pinpoint from where we sit up here on him, but you know what, he's done a tremendous job. He's dealt with both the senior Sebastian Tadella and the freshman Shamar Johnson coming at him as they kind of rotate in and out, and I think he's been tremendously quick on his feet. Johnson and Tadella are not the biggest guys, but they are fast, and Livingston has defended the edge quite well.
Well, we also talked about Fort Worth Poly, a team that has struggled offensively. They're led by junior quarterback Quincy Carter. Just kind of talking about their offensive identity, what they wanted to do tonight. They have had to work for yardage, but they've been impressive.
Sure, he's channeling Dallas Cowboys Quincy Carter from back in the day. As he's thrown the ball a little bit tonight, he's had some open wide receivers, and they have run the ball pretty well, both Carter and his two backs in Atchison and Brown. The Mustangs have not been as sharp on rush defense. It's going to be critical for them to improve as we go on.
Luis Martinez to kick. Low line drive kick that's going to bounce out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Mustangs will get the football going left to right. See what they elect to do here with this penalty flag. Gives us a chance to talk about our third and final storyline of the night. We thought possibly, maybe we're jumping the gun here a little bit, but just looking at historically, Grapevine has dominated this series. They've outscored Poly 134-7 in their last two meetings. Would tonight some of these younger players for Grapevine get a chance to play much like they did last week in a runaway win against Creekview? I think we've got our answer.
That's certainly not been the case through the first half. Now, there is maybe a good chance that Grapevine's offense figures out some things and maybe they run away and hide a little bit here in the second half. But, you know, this defense, we keep harping on, this Poly team has struggled offensively to move the football. Defensively, though, giving up a ton of points has not been their weakness. So they're playing very much what is par for the course, and even better than that. I mean, only giving up 14 points to a Grapevine offense that has showed they can score in droves. I think Poly is absolutely to be commended so far, and I don't know that we're going to see Colt Mercer anytime soon.
They elected to make Poly re-kick a bouncer that came down to Elijah Steele, running to his left, trying to turn the corner. He does. 45-50 into Parrott territory to the 41, bumped out of bounds. There's no flags, and a nice return by Elijah Steele. Grapevine tonight in 5 possessions, their average starting field position before this one here, starting at their own 43-yard line. Compare that to Poly, who's really had to drive the length of the field throughout the night. Poly, their average position, starting position has been at their own 22. Here, Grapevine will start at the Poly 42, left to right, decked out in solid white tonight. The Parrots in the bright orange, the black pants and black helmets. Now on a 1st and 10 at the Poly 42-yard line to the ground game. Tejada bounces out to his right, 40, turns the corner, 35-30, down the sideline. Look out, 25-20, 15-10, 5, touchdown. Nobody put a hand on Caleb Tejada. Now there is a flag at the 23-yard line, deep into the secondary, but nobody put a finger on Tejada as he burst down the right sideline. See what the flag is.
Now that drive started on the 42-yard line. The flag is against Grapevine as indicated by the officials. It's on the 24-yard line. There was an entanglement between left tackle Drake Beckwith and defensive end Sebastian Tadella about 20 full yards away from the line of scrimmage. be interesting to see what they call. The Mustangs are marching back, so it goes against Grapevine. That was a fantastic blocking scheme, and Tejada, again, you give him a little bit of space, and he's going to make you pay for it. It's unfortunate that it's not going to go up on the scoreboard.
Tejada comes out after the long run. It does give Grapevine the football. I think he's a block in the back.
They've been
33.
The 2 penalties on Pauly on kickoffs have actually been called as block in the backs too. So I don't know. The officials have been a little free and jolly with the sideline warnings, and now we've had our 3rd block in the back call. It's kind of hard to get a block in the back when everyone is moving towards the end zone, but I guess they saw that. Somehow, I guess it's a spot foul, so they march Grapevine back from the spot, but they still technically move forward.
They're at the Poly 33 after that first financial first down. Cowgill's going to go to the air. He heaves it down the middle. Ford Garrett makes the catch at the 5, goes into the end zone for the touchdown. His second touchdown reception, his first one was from 1 yard out. This one goes 33, Cowgill to Gare.
Well, and Poly, again, caught in their base defense. And it's hard to blame Pauly when Grapevine is running the ball so effectively right now, but they just ran cover 2, and that's the second time that a post route has burned the Parrots deep. Ben Gare that time getting behind the secondary, and he just beats the safety to the middle of the football field. Fantastic throw by Cowgill to put it on his man.
It took Grapevine 2 plays, 18 seconds to strike. J.D. Rice scores. There is a flag down here on the near side of the 10-yard line. Grapevine did not score tonight until the 7:52 mark in the second quarter. Here they were only talking about 18 seconds into the second half, and they're already on the board. See what this flag is. Maybe another sideline warning, and it is.
No way.
And now that would result in a penalty. That is what the call was on Pauly.
I'm so confused as to what they're calling a sideline warning, because the Parrots players are not moving.
Oh, they're not.
I mean, they're standing about 15 yards from extreme to extreme, and they're not moving regardless of what's happening. It's got to be on the coaching staff.
It has to be.
Now, I will say I did notice that the Parrot coaching staff is basically on the line of scrimmage, whether they're on offense or defense, yelling instructions. It's almost a little bit like a peewee football game where you have the coaches on the field kind of instructing the players what to do. I've never seen a coaching staff so close to the line of scrimmage where they're actively diagnosing a play and yelling out coverages. That may be what the officials are getting them for, but I'm very surprised as to that's our 3rd sideline warning of the game. That's our 3rd sideline warning, I think, of the season.
Well, it does allow Grapevine to move the football up to the 45-yard line. Their own 45 to kick this. So a 10-yard penalty. And Braxton Russell, senior right-footed kicker, will put total leather here. 21-7 now Grapevine, 11:32 to go in the 3rd quarter. They score on 2 plays. The pass from Cowgill to Gare, and this sails out of the back of the end zone. Russell had been nursing an injury, had been out all season, and boy, that's a great addition to get back. He is a weapon. And a touchback. Poly will start at their own 25 with 11:32 to go in the 3rd quarter, and it's 21-7 Grapevine. Well, special thanks to Steve Swanson at WhirlyBall for sponsoring our broadcast tonight. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are always more fun when you're zipping around in a Whirlybug, and they have the most affordable laser tag in town. 2 locations to serve you in Plano and Hearst. Visit them online at whirlyball.info for more information. Quincy Carter will work out of the shotgun with a 4-receiver set, 2 to each side. Then the give is to Atchison, bottled up, tries to run outside to the left, and he's strung out, brought down at the 24. Jackson Yarborough had him in his crosshairs and brings him down for a loss of 1.
A good tackle, too, by Keegan Courtney, leading the charge from his rover spot. We saw him miss a tackle on that touchdown pass that Pauly had in the first half. That time, much more fundamentally sound as he helped drag the ball carrier down.
2nd down and 11 for Pauly, who had 4 punts and their 5 possessions in the first half. And 1 touchdown as Carter goes back to the air. Swing pass to Atchison, and he is absolutely hammered at the 23 on the near sideline, out of bounds. Safety that came up to make that tackle, or I said the corner, Adrian White on the stop. And still down is Blanton.
I was going to say Edward Blanton down. he might have gotten rolled up there as he's kind of clutching one leg. He lost a shoe in the process, and what was a fur ball of arms and legs. Certainly hope that he's okay.
There's only 33 players on this Poly football team, so they are very thin, not much depth. Blanton is a talented young freshman who is still down on the turf. 21-7 Grapevine with 10:41 left to go in the third quarter. As Blanton is being tended to, we'll step aside here. This is Mustangs football on Champion Sports Radio.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Blanton comes off to the field, tended to by the training staff for Poly. Third down and 11 coming up for the Parrots with 10:35 and counting in the third quarter. The opening drive of the third for the Poly Parrots, 21-7 Grapevine. Right to left, Carter out of the shotgun, design quarterback draw. There's nowhere to go. They snuffed it out this time. Mason Shimkus in there along with Nicholas Chavoyer, team captain, defensive end on the stop. Nobody fooled that time. That's been a big play for Poly in the first half tonight, but not that time.
Well, the offensive line got no push there. Grapevine Mustangs came from the far end of the field, our far end, their left, and they just swallowed that up. Carter, I think, just simply picked the wrong side of the line to run on. We've seen him so many times tonight go the designed way and then bounce it back after everyone is committed to the prevalent side. He wasn't able to do it that time, and Poly has to punt it away from way back in their own territory.
It's their second 3 and out of the night. Their first since their opening possession as Serrano booms this one to midfield. Gare calls the fair catch, and the Mustangs will start at the 50-yard line. 9:39 to go in the third quarter, and Grapevine on top 21-7. Well, did you play Texas high school football? If you did, you're part of an elite group, and Lone Star Gridiron wants to honor you. Visit LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood for more information. Mustangs right now with all the momentum coming out of the locker room in the third quarter. It took them 2 plays to score on their opening drive. Now they'll send trips wide side right. Dixon, Navoa, and Edwards to the right. Gare up top left. Tejada, the running back, sidecar right of Cowgill in the shotgun, who claps his hands. The inside give. Tejada just looks for a little bit of room, and there's a burst ahead of the 30 to the 45, 42, close to the 41 near the sticks.
Well, there's no reason to do anything else than run the football right now. Tejada's absolutely gashing this Parrots defense, and it's interesting. We saw it a little bit in the first half, but not this effective until you got towards the second half of that second quarter, and now it just seems like the floodgates have opened for the Mustangs.
Second and a short one. Tejada again to the right of Cowgill. The handoff started left, cuts back right. There's a hole. He's up to the 31, maybe to the 30 as he dives ahead. Brought down, that's where they'll spot him at the 30. A first financial first down for the Mustangs, and Tejada just chewing up yardage as another man is down for the Parrots, grimacing in pain at about the 32. Again, the training staff will come out and look, and that might be Omarion Millsap.
It is. Yeah, it's Millsap.
Well, that's the last guy that Poly needs to go down, their star linebacker.
You know, I think what's happened these last couple of plays is a bigger Mustang body has fallen awkwardly on a Parrot. Obviously, you don't want to speculate what the injury might be, but I mean, Millsap is in a ton of pain. He's got his helmet off. I will say Dylan Beckwith and Max Livingston, the right guard and right tackle respectively, they are playing some very mad football right now. They are aggressively clearing holes. I mean, the one of the main reasons Tejada is having his way with this defense is he's got nobody in front of him. He's able to burst into the second level. The first contact that's being made is 5-6 yards down the field, and it's all credit to that offensive line. I mean, you heard Coach Kovac talk about that during our halftime interview with him, is that he teaches these guys, to focus on technique first. Size is a variable in high school football. Last year he had a smaller offensive line. This year the size has come up. But these guys are learning how to be technically proficient, and it's showing tonight.
Millsap does walk off the field on his own accord, so that is good news for Poly. Now back to action on a 1st and 10 at the Parrot 30. 4 receivers, 2 flanked to each side. Cowgill slings it left to Gary, who's had a big night, catches at the 25, rumbles to the 19. He's got another first down for the Mustang offense.
It's interesting that Poly's not playing more press coverage. You look at their corners. Harold Connor is 6 feet tall, first team All-District last year. DJ Price, who also plays wide receiver, he's 5'10", 185. But they're playing off coverage, and Grapevine able to get early separation.
Yeah, just pitch and catch. Here's the handoff to Tejada, breaks a tackle, wiggles his way to the 13, then is stacked up. Going back to your comment, Mike Alexander has made it known that really plays into Max Cowgill's style of game, is when you give him that off coverage.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's an easy throw. You get to step in. It's a simple 2-3 step drop and fire it for 7-8 yards automatically. And then you've got athletes on the outside like Ben Gare who can make a man miss. I mean, it's a recipe for success. I'm shocked defenses aren't trying to take that away.
2nd and 6 from the Poly 14. Play action over the middle, tipped and caught, touchdown. Griffin Edwards hauls that in for the score. It's Edwards' 5th touchdown reception of the season. And for Max Cowgill, 4 touchdown passes on the night, and now Grapevine has a commanding 27-7 lead with 7:55 to go in the 3rd.
Well, we were talking about in the key storylines, could Grapevine make some adjustments? Could they figure out how to put more points on the scoreboard and maybe allow their depth guys to get some experience? I think Braden Smith figured it out at the half. They diagnosed what was being run against them from this Parrots defensive unit. And so far, Grapevine, they've looked like a completely different team on both sides of the ball. The Parrots defense apparently didn't come out of the locker rooms. Grapevine's offense finally got here.
Extra point from J.D. Rice is good, and Grapevine has their biggest lead of the night, 28-7, 7:55 to go in the 3rd. This is Mustangs football on Champion Sports Radio.
Did you know there's a cutting-edge cold therapy right here in Grapevine? It's CryoNation, and we talked to owner Josh Brown.
A cryo treatment will help your aches and pains. It's the modern-day version of an ice bath.
And that ice bath does some pretty cool things for your body.
Our cryotherapy chambers rapidly cool the body, accelerating muscle recovery, burning up to 1,000 calories, and activating anti-aging skin rejuvenation. It's an ice bath for the 21st century.
Josh, how does it work?
Cryogenically cooled air reduces inflammation and stimulates collagen production. This reduces inflammation, which accelerates injury recovery. Collagen helps reduce the signs of aging and cellulite.
Check out the secrets of CryoNation at cryo-nation.com. CryoNation.
Are you showing your...
Kickoff comes down around the 5-yard line up to the 10, 15, 20. And Anthony Shepard on the return, a talented young freshman, looking for any kind of room and able to kind of bob and weave his way to the 21. Stacked up there, and that's where Poly will take over. Mitch, you got to look at that Grapevine touchdown drive.
I do. That drive started at the 50-yard line. It was a 5-play drive that resulted in a 15-yard touchdown pass from Max Cowgill, his 13th of the season, his 4th tonight to Griffin Edwards, who made his 5th touchdown grab of the season. Grapevine suddenly has jumped out to a commanding 28-7 lead over the Poly Parrots with 7:38 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Quincy Carter, the junior signal caller for Poly, works out of the shotgun. This time they operate with a tight end left and 3 receivers, and a delay of game call will be enforced on Poly. So they'll back this up, and now they'll start the drive from their own 16 with 1st and 15 now coming up. 7:38 to go in the 3rd quarter, and what's been a dominant, really first almost 5 minutes for the Mustangs. They bring up an outside linebacker in Cade Keeling off the right side. 3-man defensive front line. Carter, the quarterback in the shotgun. Gives and straight ahead to Atchison, swallowed up at the 16 as he tried right tackle. Nowhere to go, right into the teeth of that defense.
This is a critical moment for the Parrots. They've obviously started the season about as you would expect for their program and their program's history, but as we've talked about, Jeff Green is really doing a tremendous job. You look at that record, 9-14, and that does not tell the whole story. You have to look into the team history to realize 9 wins over 3 years is astronomical success for Poly High School.
Yeah, it just has a different feel tonight. Grapevine has really had to work for everything. Far cry from a 70-0 win 2 years ago. Here's a deep pass, incomplete, but there's going to be a flag that's going to probably more than likely either defensive holding or pass interference on Adrian White. Carter showed off his arm strength in a rainbow throw down the left sideline at about the 45-yard line. This should be on Grapevine. Adrian White comes up limp. He's hobbling off, and Mishak and Goy will come in and take over the corner position on the near side.
I'll tell you what, this Poly team, a lot of their best playmakers are freshmen. You look at Anthony Shepard as a wide receiver, 6'1", true freshman. You have Shamar Johnson, who leads the team in sacks. He's a freshman. There are some very, very good playmakers that are in Parrot Orange here tonight. I tell you what, give them a year, maybe 2 in this system as Green continues to work his magic. I think this team could be a real contender for at least to make some noise within the district here in a couple of years.
That penalty puts them at the Poly 32. Ball is on the near hash. It's their own 32. 3 receivers with twins to the right. The give to Atchison. No, it's Carter. Keeps it on his zone read. He's got nowhere to go. Now tries to bounce it out to the right. Try to turn the corner. There's just nowhere to go. A swarm of white jerseys. Boy, there's about 10 Mustangs there to gang tackle Carter back at the 30 and a loss of 2.
And you're not exaggerating at all. There was only one guy, Dylan Hohenberger, who's the Bandit safety, who was just coming over from his safety spot. But the other 10 Mustangs on the field got out of that pile. A tremendous job by the Mustangs staying with a very fleet-footed quarterback and not getting juked out by him. Another positive play for Grapevine's defense, another negative play there for the Parrot offense is, tell you what, this Poly attack has just gone in reverse since we came out of the half.
Yeah, it was a loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Carter kind of taking a beating, so tough and gritty. The 5'10", 160-pound junior quarterback puts a man in motion, tosses it in front to Blanton, and Blanton is hammered down at the 33, snowed under right there. And again, there's about 5 Mustangs in on the tackle. Aiden Cassidy, Mason Shimkus, the first 2 to arrive on the scene.
You know, for Poly, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to this adversity. Jeff Green, we talked about, formerly on staff at Burleson, but he was also, aside from being the offensive line coach, he was also the powerlifting coach at Burleson. He led that team to a 5th place finish at state in 2018, which for Burleson High School had been completely unheard of.
3rd down and 9. They move Cassidy out to a defensive end. They bring in Carter Shimwell as the nose guard, and Carter's in trouble as he tries to keep it. And he does. He turns something big, and out of nothing, he's ahead to midfield. There's a flag that comes flying in from the secondary, and maybe an illegal block as he got deep into the secondary first down yardage. But this may all be coming back. I think Anthony Shepard's the guilty culprit.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a blindside block. It's either on Shepard or Edward Blanton. I'm not sure who it was that delivered the hit. But it was Alex Garay that got blindsided well behind the play. It was an unnecessary block as Carter had already passed him by, and it's going to end up costing Poly that entire gain as they go ahead and march it off.
They do bring it back to the 40. I'm going to go back to your comments with Jeff Green coaching that powerlifting team over at Burleson. It just kind of gives you some insight into his mentality. A powerlifting coach, you got to feel that he's preaching toughness, grit, strength. This team more than likely living in the weight room and just trying to build a program. They're thin on numbers, but the talent is there, and you got to feel like you can see just a different mindset from this team.
I agree. No doubt about it. This team, when you dig into their history, is not a program of winning. They're just not used to doing that. And, you know, it seems like they've been almost okay with that the football program has been an afterthought. Not under Jeff Green.
for third down and about 3. Carter tackled as he tried to sweep right. Maybe the ball's loose. He is tackled back at the 37. Carter is on the football, but Grapevine dialed up a blitz. They knew what was coming, felt like.
Well, and you're seeing frustration starting to leak out for this Poly team. Anthony Shepard here on the near side, I'm not sure if he was wanting Quincy to come his way. He had won the blocking battle against Mishak and Goey, pushed him about 15 yards down the field, and as he looked back was kind of flinging his arms up in exasperation. This Grapevine team has clearly struck a nerve with Poly, and now 4th and about 5, they're going to punt it away. Grapevine has all the momentum.
Serrano, high, short, wobbly kick, far side, bounces at the Mustangs 43, out of bounds around the 41. Poly tonight, their average field position deep in their own territory, about their own 22, and they have punted now on 6 of their 7 possessions. Their only other possession was a touchdown drive, a 16-yard touchdown pass from Quincy Carter to DJ Price.
And ironically, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that touchdown drive started on their own 8-yard line, correct?
Right, their own 18. Close, yeah. Deep in their own territory. So they have really had to work for everything tonight. Mustangs start this drive, 4:03 to go in the third quarter, at their own 41. Ball on the far left hash, leading 28-7. Cowgill stands in the shotgun. 3 receivers and a tight end right. Handoff. And this time it is Addison Davis who muscles his way through to the 46. First time we've seen Davis carry the ball tonight. Transfer from Euless Trinity. Gets about 5.
And he's a bigger bodied guy too. You've got Caleb Tejada, obviously, that stands at 5'6". Addison Davis at 6 feet tall.
Also, Matthew DeBray. Not seeing him tonight other than just a couple of times in the backfield, but without a carry. This time Davis is swallowed up. Tried to churn forward, but he was met rudely in the backfield. A loss of a yard. And Isaiah Dixon got in there on the tackle.
Yeah, Travis Mason, the left guard, got thrown off balance and fell right in the way of Addison Davis. He had nowhere to go, couldn't get around his big-bodied left guard.
3rd and 7 from their own 45. A 4-receiver package with 2 flanked to each side. Cowgill steps up back in the shotgun. Good protection, throws over the middle and incomplete. Too high for Parker Polk. He's targeted Polk tonight 3 times. They've just not been able to connect.
Well, and that should have been picked, too, as Serrano dropped back into coverage. Looked like they were running some version of cover 4, maybe cover 6, but Serrano, that one went right through his hands. He read the eyes of Cowgill the entire way, and Cowgill coming in had only thrown 1 interception. He threw one earlier. Omarion Millsap picked him off on the first back in the first quarter, and boy, Poly just missing a huge motivational spark that they might have been needing.
This is the first 3 and out tonight for Grapevine and their first punt of the evening, and a short one at that bounces at the 36 of Poly and it bounces backwards. Actually takes a Poly bounce. Now Braxton Russell is punting tonight in place of Garrett Johnson, who is out with an injury. Well, you talk about a guy that's really come on. Garrett Johnson, not only as an outside linebacker, but how about the progress he's made as a punter? That's a weapon that they missed tonight.
Sure. He had a booming punt, I guess it was 2 weeks ago against Justin Northwest, or I guess maybe now 3 weeks ago against Justin Northwest, that he completely flipped the field. Punting it from his own 10-yard line, he ended up pinning Justin Northwest, I think, inside their 20. So
about a 65, 70-yard punt.
Yeah, something that would have made SportsCenter if there were TV cameras here.
The trajectory of it, of an NFL type.
Sure.
High, booming, spiraling kick. Quincy Carter throws quick little jailbreak screen to the freshman Shepard, and he is stood up as soon as he catches it. He continues to keep those legs churning. He drives ahead of the 43, but they're going to give him forward progress and call him actually back at the 39. First time we've called Shepard's name tonight on a complete reception.
Everyone puts their big hits, their touchdown catches, their fancy numbers on Huddle. I wonder if Garrett Johnson is maybe going for a punter scholarship there. Hey,
yeah, right.
Look at this, 70-yard punt.
Unbelievable, out of nowhere.
Come get me.
6'5", 210 pounds, and I'm telling you, one of the best kicks that you'll see at any level. And here's a 2nd down and 8 with 2:16 and counting in the third quarter, 28-7 Grapevine. Quincy Carter stands back in the shotgun. They go to Traylon Brown. First time he's carried the ball since about midway through the second quarter. He is drugged down from behind at the 42. Tracking him down was Chavoyer, the backside defensive end, for a short gain.
Good tackle there, good pursuit. GCISD produced Chase Allen for Colleyville Heritage last year, came out. He's now at Alabama with the Crimson Tide. Maybe GCISD is becoming special teams U.
Right. I'll tell you what, Heritage just got him another good one this year, what we saw in the Open.
Yes, yes they do.
They're churning out the kicker, the field goal kickers, and maybe Grapevine with the punter and Johnson. Here's the third down and 6. Quick pass, far right side, caught and immediately tackled. Harold Connor made the catch, and right there immediately was Cade Keeling over there on the stop. It's going to leave Poly a 4th and maybe 6, and they bring the punt unit out again.
A good job by Grapevine's defense, again, putting Poly in an obvious passing situation, but not giving up anything over the top. They make the Parrots throw it underneath, try and press their luck, see if they can get to the sticks, and not able to do so again. This Grapevine defense is bowed up as the snap is bobbled. They're running a fake.
Oh, wide open, and down there, incomplete at the 35. Boy, had Anthony Shepard wide open, and he maybe led him a little bit to the inside. There was nobody on Shepard on the bottom side. If he hits Shepard, all he has to do is make one move and make a man miss, and he's going to score.
Well, what happened there was Grapevine had 12 men on the field, and I don't know if that was Tanner Ansel. Someone was yelling at Keegan Courtney to get off the field, so he ran all the way from the near sideline where he was matched up against Shepard off the field, and nobody slid out wide. And so I don't know if that was a call that came in late. It certainly didn't look like Poly planned to run a fake. But you're right, that was almost the opportunity of a lifetime, and Shepard just didn't catch the ball.
Well, it's going to give Grapevine the football at the Poly 44 with 50 seconds to go in the third quarter. Grapevine has shut out Poly here in the third, 14-0, and on the stretch play, Tejada nowhere to go. He is strung out at the 44, no gain. Great pursuit defensively, that time by DJ Price.
I tell you what, a slower running back loses 4 yards on that. It was a miracle that he even turned the corner and got back to the line of scrimmage. Grapevine probably just has to run one more play here before the third quarter ends.
They're at the 44 of Poly. Yeah, clock ticking at 20 seconds. There's about a 5-second differential.
Well, now they reset the play clock.
Yeah, in fact,
it was matched up earlier. Now it's just stopped.
Yeah, the play clock is stopped, and the game clock at 10 seconds. They do snap it. Cowgill throws it far side to Gare, caught at the 40, drives ahead to the 35. That's great second effort by Gare. He may have a first down to the 34. He does, and that's the first financial first down for the Mustangs, as that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. All Grapevine. They outscore Poly 14-0 in the third. They've got a 28-7 lead as we head to the final stanza. The fourth quarter is coming up next on Champion Sports Radio.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But WhirlyBall is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, WhirlyBall in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your WhirlyBug for a WhirlyBall competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
If you need a family dentist, you need to know Dr. Steve Parker at DFW Smiles and Grapevine. Steve gladly offers a complimentary second opinion. So if you get hit with dental sticker shock from a corporate dentist, go see Steve. Plus, he's a big supporter of Mustang football.
I'm Dr. Steve Parker. I hope you're enjoying the Mustangs game. Come see us at DFW Smiles and go Mustangs.
Go to dfwsmiles.com or call 817-281-3444.
Fourth quarter action from Clark Stadium, where it's 28-7 Grapevine. And on first down and 10, Tejada bounces his way through to the 30, to the 29, down to the 28. He just has great vision, stays it behind that offensive line, and pops through.
I tell you what, the endurance that Tejada has as well to continue to pop right back up and take another snap is incredible. They're going to bring Matthew DeBray in for Griffin Edwards, who's coming up a little lame on that left ankle maybe. But Tejada, he can do it all. We've talked about that. He can run. He can catch. He does not wear out like a typical smaller back would. He has been the MVP of this team when he's been healthy.
Cowgill to throw, pressure coming, throws over the middle and incomplete. He was just, about a stride away from hitting Novoa over the middle at the 5-yard line for his second touchdown reception of the night. And credit Cowgill, he stood in there as the heat was coming.
He did. He took a shot. He knew he was going to get hit there. I think maybe a little bit of a busted protection. I'm not exactly sure who let the pass rush through. But again, Poly does not seem concerned about getting beat in cover 2 time and time again, and Grapevine is going to go back to that well.
3rd down and 4. Cowgill throws, far right side, caught by Dixon. He's got the first down of the 22, first catch of the night for Blake Dixon. And that is another First Financial first down for the Mustangs.
That's the one part of this defensive game plan that's made no sense to me. It's 3rd and 5, and the defense is 8-9 yards off coverage. I mean, that was the easiest first down conversion you could ask for.
Pitch and catch, Cowgill to Dixon. Ball on the far hash of the 22. Again, same play, same result. Dixon to the 15 is close to the 12, and what would be very close to another first.
Well, Grapevine may well be on track for their 3rd straight win, and if you notice, their last 3 opponents have all done this. They've all played this kind of soft bubble coverage, and Cowgill is just eating them alive by doing it. It's great for the Mustangs.
There is time called by the officials before they get this playoff. It is a 2nd and about a half a yard for Grapevine. 10:23 to go in the game. 28-7 Mustangs. They're on the move. This drive started at the Poly 44 after a fake punt went awry on an incomplete pass from Antonio Serrano to Anthony Shepard. Now the Mustangs have it, 2nd and inches from the Poly 12-yard line. The give goes to Tejada. Pinballs his way around at the 10 and then drives ahead to the 7 and finishes off the run aggressively as he falls forward to the 7-yard line.
The line of scrimmage on that play was at the 14. You have offensive linemen finishing their blocks on the 7-yard line. They just drove that first line of response from the Parrots 7 to 8 yards back. That is a tremendous push that, to be honest, we did not see from Grapevine last season at all. This offensive line with this size and the skill set that they've been working on, they have picked up where last year's offensive line left off and then some.
1st and goal at the 7. Tejada, the running back to the right of Cowgill, is going to step back and throw, looking for his 5th touchdown of the night. Scott Gare in the end zone, got a foot in, touchdown. Ben Gare's 3rd touchdown reception of the night, and for Cowgill, his 5th touchdown pass. 34-7 Mustangs with 9:24 to go in the 4th.
Well, the floodgates have opened as Edwards just just runs an out route. It's a very shallow one. He's looking for that near pylon. Again, Max Livingston has come to play tonight. He stopped Tadula before he could get around the corner. He made him go about 5 to 7 yards wider than he intended, and he gave Cowgill just enough time to step up into the pocket, deliver a throw. There was nobody home for the Parrots. Now, Reagan, you may start to see some backup shuffle in here. We might get to see Colt Mercer after all.
Well, there's some shuffling on the special teams. Livingston was off the field. He had to come racing back on. Ivan Velasquez also sprinting onto the field, and Mike Alexander, I believe, wanted to burn a timeout. Either that or maybe they didn't get it in time. This is a delay game. It backs it up 5 yards, and so J.D. Rice for the extra point. J.D. on the season is 15 of 15. This will be from 25 yards out. Straight shot. High snap. Dixon gets the hold down, and Rice's kick sneaks through the right upright. So at 35-7, Mustangs beginning to pull away with 9:24 to go in the 4th quarter. This is Grapevine Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Living in North Texas provides all of us with an amazing quality of life, including an affordable cost of living, outstanding schools, unbelievable cultural opportunities, and the best sports around. But we also have to put up with severe storms. Hi folks, Champion Sports Radio President and Founder Thomas Lee here to tell you when a hail or windstorm comes through your neighborhood, do what we did and call Greenleaf Roofing. Greenleaf Roofing is a fully insured, locally owned and operated company built on the values of amazing craftsmanship, affordable options, and innovative solutions. And they are proud that those values still stand as a foundation for their business today. And did I mention Greenleaf Roofing has 24-hour emergency service available? It's nice to know Greenleaf Roofing will be there in a hurry if you need them. After the first experience, I became a customer for life and have used them on 3 different homes. But don't just take my word for it. Learn about the Greenleaf Roofing difference yourself by calling them at 972-379-9109 or go online to greenleaf-roofing.com to find out how you can get your free quote. Greenleaf Roofing, the #1 choice for all your roofing needs.
Mustangs lead it 35-7 here in the fourth quarter with 9:24 left to go as kickoff units are getting lined up. That Grapevine touchdown scoring drive capped off with an 8-yard touchdown pass from Cowgill, his 5th of the night, to Ben Gare, who made his 3rd touchdown reception of the evening. And, of course, Grapevine now leads 35-7 with 9:24 left to go here in the ballgame.
Booming kick from Braxton Russell. Goes out of the back of the end zone, so Poly will start at their own 25 with 9:24 left to go in the ball game. Well, hey, Mustang Nation, after the game tonight, be sure to watch CBS 11 News at 10 with Doug Dunbar, Chief Meteorologist Scott Padgett, and Bill Jones with sports. Weeknights only on CBS 11, your official Dallas Cowboys station. From the 25 for the Poly Parrots, 35-7 Mustangs with 9:24 to go in the ball game. Grapevine looking for their 3rd straight win and trying to get out to a 2-0 start in district. They look to be well on their way. They'll have their hands full next week. Southwest Raiders, a team that's 3-1. They're coming off a 61-7 win last night over Carrollton Creekview. Quincy Carter's in trouble as he started left on a design quarterback sweep, and then he comes back right and may have wished that he hadn't, as he is slung to the turf back near the 20-yard line. Meshach Ngoe was the one that finally put the screws to him.
You know, I think that's a call that Brad Sham had back in the day. The offensive line for Quincy Carter and the Cowboys just failing him, leaving him to run for his life. And how about that? 20 years later, it manifests itself on Clark Stadium.
We could just hit replay over and over and over again with that kind of call back in the day. You may feel like he's reliving that this year, just with a different quarterback.
Well, you got a feel for Brad and Babe. There's no question about it.
2nd and 13.
Same with
far cry from the glory days back in the 90s.
Same with the CBS 11 crew.
Right.
You know, that promo says they're the home for Cowboys. I think they wish they weren't this year.
It would have been a rough go. There's a penalty on Poly, or a timeout for Poly. 8:32 to go in this game. 35-7. Grapevine. Yeah, a team that was maybe had some Super Bowl aspirations and just seems to be the, same song, different verse each year for this Cowboys team that is not living up to expectations.
A ton of injuries. Obviously, we've seen the Mustangs have to adapt here at the high school level to some injuries and stuff like that. The Cowboys, no doubt about it, have been decimated. You lose your quarterback, your heart and soul, and Dak Prescott to a gruesome injury a couple of weeks ago. But it has been a painful slog. When I can do homework, do prep, write papers on a Sunday afternoon after church, just listen to the radio call and not feel like I'm missing anything, that is a bad season for the Silver and Blue.
Well, the good news is for the Mustangs, they lead 35-7. Carter's pass zips it over the middle. It's too high for Blanton. Incomplete. Now 3rd and 13.
What are we doing talking about Cowboys on a Friday night?
Yeah, who would have thought? We're the only ones talking about Cowboys.
Oh, for sure.
3rd down and 13. Yeah, maybe the Oklahoma State Cowboys, right?
It's true. We did talk about them earlier.
You look like the color scheme tonight for the Poly Parrots, very much like the Oklahoma State Cowboys, the bright orange jerseys, black pants, black helmets. They might prefer the nickname Cowboys over Parrots, too. Just a hunch. 3rd and 13. Quincy Carter to the ground. Straight ahead on the draw play. Boy, he just found a little bit of a crease and popped through at the 30 to the 35, and he's got a 1st down.
Well, we've seen him do that a number of times tonight. Back in the first half, when Poly had some sort of offensive rhythm, especially on that touchdown drive. I mean, Carter's been able to bounce it outside. He's been able to slip through tiny gaps in between the tackles, and he's done a good job at times tonight. It's just been inconsistency that's doomed the Parrots.
1st and 10 from their own 35, and it is Traylon Brown with the handoff and immediately hit and then shoved back at the 35. Give him forward progress, but boy, in the trenches right there, Christian Watson, Aiden Castee, and Nicholas Chavoyer wreaking havoc.
There have been several plays tonight where the Grapevine 3-man front, not even bringing a linebacker, but the 3-man front has rolled up this offensive line for Paul, and you start to wonder if maybe Poly's getting a little bit worn down. The pressure, the length of this game is starting to mount on them. They've had a long evening, especially here in the second half.
It was actually Carter Shimwell and not Cassidy at the nose guard. Now on a 2nd and 10, Carter sprints to his right, fires the pass, and it's caught at the first down marker on the near side by DJ Price. And the Parrots are on the move. They're at midfield with 7:07 to go in the game.
That was a good throw by Carter, too, rolling out of the pocket. He threw that off his back foot, but delivered an accurate strike to DJ Price, who is a two-way player. Boy, he's had a long evening here on defense as well.
1st and 10 at midfield, 35-7 Grapevine. As Carter again sprints out to his right, throws over the middle, and it's caught. Another first down. That's ahead of the 43. You know, Carter's numbers don't wow you when you look at him passing. In fact, coming in tonight, you didn't think he was going to throw for much of anything, but he has really looked the part on the ground and through the air.
Yeah, you can tell that passing is not their mainstay. There's a little bit of a hesitancy between quarterback and receivers, but he has a strong enough arm. I mean, if he was in a different system, Quincy could absolutely throw, for 300 yards a game. He's got the arm and the agility to extend plays, and that's extremely dangerous.
He's continued to command this offense. He sprints to his left, kind of the do-it-all quarterback. There's a flag back in the secondary as Carter is thrown to the turf at the 44 of Grapevine, right at the original line of scrimmage. But the flag came from the other side of the field. There's yellow laundry back at around the 35-yard line.
I don't think that one was thrown 30 yards
Oh, no.
this time. That might have just been a casual drop. I think it's going to go. It looks like it's going against Grapevine here.
Yeah, maybe a face mask on the Mustangs. That's going to move it deeper into Mustang territory at the 34, so with 6:02 to go in the game, 35-7 Mustangs, and Poly has one of their best drives of the night.
That's the second penalty that's gone against Mishak Ngowi. He got flagged for, I believe, defensive holding a little bit earlier. Savion Shockley had a pass interference call as well, so by my count, it's the third penalty against this Grapevine secondary tonight. And then a night where the offense isn't throwing it a ton, that's certainly one of the more concerning trends.
3-man front defensively for the Mustangs, 15 on the play clock. Now they bring up 2 outside linebackers. Carter from the line of scrimmage in the shotgun handoff to Traylon Brown, rumbles to the 32. Minimal gain of a yard or two, but tough sledding inside for the 5'8", 185-pound senior running back.
Traylon kind of reminds you of Frank Gore almost, doesn't he? Just a heavier-bodied running back. He's going to get you 2 to 3 yards a carry, not really anything more, but he's consistent as the day is long, and he actually comes up lame here. Looks like the trainer trying to chase him down. He's trying to walk it off, but he's going to be escorted off the field.
He's been beat up tonight. He'll be battered and bruised tomorrow. He's very slow to walk off the field, hands on hips. And they usher in Trevor Atchison, a junior running back, who's a complete change of pace at 5'6", $135.
We haven't seen Edward Blanton carry the ball, I don't think, here in the second half. He had 2 or 3 carries there in the first half. He's certainly more the fast athletic type. Seemed like he had a better success getting around the corner than maybe even Atchison did, but has yet to carry the ball by my count here in the second half of the ball game.
5:32 left to go in the fourth. 35-7 Grapevine. The football's at the Mustangs 32. Carter sets up in the shotgun. Rainbow pass deep down the middle and intercepted by Jackson Yarbrough right in the end zone. Yarbrough made that catch over his shoulder, and Carter throws the interception, his third of the season.
Well, there's the inexperience I think you see from Carter throwing the football. That was into triple coverage. There was only one deep route on this side, and Grapevine had 2 deep safeties over here on the near side, and then the cornerback going with the receiver. And Carter not only throws it into triple coverage, but he actually out-throws his own man. It's Jackson Yarbrough that wins the race to the football. A nice over-the-head catch, and Grapevine gets the football back, and now up 28. You wonder if maybe you start to see some of the backups coming in. And it looks like it is Colt Mercer that has trotted out there for the Mustangs at quarterback.
It's the 7th turnover forced by Grapevine in his 2020 season. They were even in the turnover margin department. Now they're back to a +1. There's a handoff and just absolutely nowhere to go. In fact, I think maybe somebody was offsides for Poly, I believe. No, maybe not. They're waving this off at the 20-yard line. Well, they were quick to be in the backfield, and a loss of significant yardage, maybe 5 or 6 yard loss.
Now, Reagan, tell me if I'm wrong. He needs to turn around, but I don't think that's actually Colt Mercer. I think that's number 10, which on our roster is Sidney Hubbard. Could just be his jersey crumpled up.
Yeah, Mercer's 19. That 9 could look like a 0. We'll
to me, it does. I can't blame old age on my eyes. I might just be blind.
And right now, he's got his back turned kind of angled to where we can't even tell.
He's three-quartering away.
You can say that the quarterback is in the shotgun with 3 receivers and a running back to the right. They do go to the ground. Davis is popped right as soon as he got the football at the 14, shoved back.
I mean, you can see why I think that's a 0, right?
Yeah, you're right. No, I'm with you.
It clearly, it looks like a 0.
It's a 3rd and 15 for the Mustangs. Inside 4.5 to play in the game. 35-7 Grapevine.
You'll have to lead off your interview with Mike next week. Hey, by the way, who is your second quarterback?
Inside 5 minutes to go, Mike. Who finished the game out at quarterback? He's going to change the play at the line of scrimmage. If it is Mercer, the backup as a young sophomore, had a brilliant performance last week off the bench, kind of in mop-up duty as Grapevine ran away from Creekview. 4-7 with 2 touchdown passes and 56 yards. There is a timeout called. Maybe give us a chance to figure this out. Of course, he's going to slip in there behind all of his big offensive linemen. You talked about the O-line tonight. We've mentioned Max Livingston, the sophomore, making his first start. The thing that's got to be exciting for Mustangs fans, there's only one senior on this offensive line. That's the center, Jason Short. I mean, you're talking about some youth and some guys that are going to be here for a while, and they are getting better and better each week.
They are. They have progressed, and not just from the beginning of the season to now, which would be a 5-6 week trend, but week to week, each individual ball game, it feels like you're seeing them improve on certain techniques. They're getting better working as a unit. You know, against Colleyville Heritage, which all credit due to Colleyville, they're a very, very good football team, but there were some blown assignments. There were some pressures in the backfield that there was just no hope of avoiding. Tonight, that's just not been the case. They've worked cohesively as a unit. Even against a decent pass rush, they've held their own, and I'm very, very impressed with this front 5 for the Mustangs.
3rd and 15. They motion Davis out of the backfield. Here's a quick pass on a little screen at the 10, but there's just nowhere to go. A move was made and then stood up. That's Elijah Steele who made the catch. Forward progress, probably back to the original line of scrimmage. I do believe that's
a 0.
Sidney Hubbard.
That's a 0.
Here's what's also interesting. 10 and 19 with jerseys look very similar in terms of that 9 and 0. Also in stature. You're talking about Hubbard's 5'9", 150 pounds. Mercer's 5'10", 160.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 2 guys that look very similar as well. But we'll find out from Mike Alexander. There's a high snap over the head of Russell. Now he's in trouble, and he tries to just kick that out of the back of the end zone. He whiffed initially, then finally did get it out. That is a safety. So now it's 35-9.
And Pauly will get the ball
away.
Yeah. We're on the 50-yard line, but actually you were remarking earlier, we are a long way away from the field.
That's the other thing.
Not quite as far away as we were at Globe Life, but we're still more than a stone's throw away from the football field.
It's funny, when we got here, of course, you're an A&M graduate. You talked about, it kind of looks like old Kyle Field. I mean, just the facade on the outside. What I think about at Kyle Field, I was there, probably back in the late 90s for a high school playoff game. The only time I've been there, but calling that game, that press box is a mile high.
Yes.
Here, you're a mile away. I mean, you were just so deep and far away from the action. So while Kyle Field goes, vertically straight up in the air, it feels like here, you're so far back.
I tell you what, that press box now, after all the refurbishments it's undergone, a true jewel.
It is.
Of a stadium, and I obviously don't say that to just pour the maroon Kool-Aid, but that press box is even taller now than it used to be.
Oh my.
And it's funny when you're in there during the war hymn, it shakes.
Yeah, you're right.
It is. They have signs, little pieces of paper on the press box counters that are meant for the visitors, but tell you do not be alarmed.
Right.
The ground underneath you will shake when the crowd sings the war hymn.
That is something to behold. Here's the kickoff to Shepard. Shepard snowed under at the 30. Good kick from Russell, so that's where they'll take over. Yeah, I'll never forget that playoff game. It was the Sealy Tigers, who at that time a 3A program down in the Houston area, they were in their heyday, just rattling off state titles. And it was a quarterfinal or semifinal game. Never been that high in a press box to where the players, they almost looked like ants.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally had to call a game with binoculars. But well, what an experience to be at that venue, such a historic stadium. But really yearning to get there on a Saturday to experience that.
And you'll have to wait one more year at least for its true glory. You know, it's incredible to hear Dan Mullen of Florida complaining about the noise, and they only had a quarter capacity.
Right. Here's Carter on 1st down and 10, swallowed up. Aiden Cassidy ripped it out. The ball's loose. The Mustangs have got it. Going the other way. 20, 15, 10, 5, stumbles to the 2, down to the 1. And just falling a yard short of the end zone was Tyler Mears. Aiden Cassidy ripped it out, and Mears got eaten by the turf monster at about the 5.
Yeah, is that Daniel Jones or Tyler Mears that just fell on the goal line? You mentioned Aiden Cassidy with the textbook strip move, and we've seen the Mustangs doing that all night. I don't think either of us have mentioned it, but I've noticed as the Mustangs rally to the football and the pile kind of stops, you can see defenders ripping at that football, and that was the first time that it's worked tonight. That was a vicious strip by Aiden Cassidy, who, of course, is so glad to be back after a couple weeks off that he missed with an injury, a lower body injury. You can see how much of an impact that he has, obviously, aside from the turnover, blowing up the offensive line, clogging up running lanes, and there he gets the ball coming in your favor here on the 1-yard line.
And it is Sidney Hubbard who gives the handoff, and off left tackle stopped at the 1. And we can tell you for a fact
definitively
now that it is Sidney Hubbard at quarterback, as the ball is on the near hash, so we can tell that is a 0. It's a 10 on his backside, not a 9. It's not 19, that is 10.
The 3.5-minute game time long investigation has concluded.
Game well in hand, but the lone mystery tonight in the last couple of minutes is who has played backup quarterback.
Yeah.
It is Hubbard. 35 to 9, Grapevine. This game is well in hand for the Mustangs. Hubbard will keep it on the zone read. He's in for a touchdown. Sidney Hubbard's first career touchdown run off right tackle. The 5'9", 150-pound senior goes in off the right side. And the Mustangs now go up 41-9 inside 2 minutes to play in the ball game.
I'll tell you what, that was a beautiful read by Hubbard. I do not think that was a read option. I'm almost positive he was supposed to hand that to Caden Stefan, number 44. Stefan had that ball ripped out of his gut as Hubbard pulled it away from him almost forcefully because he saw that defensive end crashing in and obviously is able to walk in untouched. Grapevine doing it in the air. They've done it on the ground now, and they're doing it with backups as well. Here's
J.D. Rice for the extra point. Good hole by Dixon. Rice nails it through, and Grapevine has a 42-9 lead with 1:58 to go in this ball game. This is Mustangs football on Champion Sports Radio.
If you need a family dentist, you need to know Dr. Steve Parker at DFW Smiles and Grapevine. Steve gladly offers a complimentary second opinion. So if you get hit with dental sticker shock from a corporate dentist, go see Steve. Plus, he's a big supporter of Mustang football.
I'm Dr. Steve Parker. I hope you're enjoying the Mustangs game. Come see us at DFW Smiles and go Mustangs.
Go to dfwsmiles.com or call 817-281-3444.
Well, the Grapevine Mustangs well and truly on their way to their second district win. They're going to improve to 3-2 on the 2020 campaign, and they get their most recent addition on the scoreboard by a 1-yard touchdown run from Sidney Hubbard, his first career score. And the Grapevine Mustangs now lead the Poly Parrots 42-9, just under 2 minutes left to go in the football game.
Braxton Russell, he is a weapon and a game changer as with his kickoff duties as he belts that one deep into the end zone and another touchback. And the field position game, that is one that you want to have on your side in Braxton Russell. He's a welcome addition back coming off an injury. 1:58 to go in the game. Poly will have it at their own 25. Mustang football tonight brought to you by Brown Chiropractic. Get your lifestyle back. Go see Dr. Kelly Brown, former middle linebacker and captain for the Mustangs. And Grapevine football tonight also brought to you by the Compass Church, where their mission is navigating people to God no matter your background. Learn more at mycompasschurch.com. Now Quincy Carter in the shotgun on a first down and 10. I say Carter, it's not. It's Anthony Shepard, the freshman who will be in at quarterback, as now Poly begins to maneuver some guys around. Now Shepard is a starter on offense. He's a receiver. He's a freshman. Boy, does he look the part. 6'1", $170. He will be a guy that Poly, in fact, head coach Jeff Green is going to be very excited about over the next 3 years.
No question about it. He had 3 receptions, 139 yards coming in. That one touchdown reception through the air was actually thrown by backup quarterback Antonio Serrano. It was a one-time play for 43 yards and a score. That is the only pass that Serrano has thrown this season.
And here comes Shepard on the quarterback keeper running right, and he is stacked up at the 37. You know, it's funny. You think back to Serrano, the punter, tonight in the third quarter on a fake punt, nearly connected with Shepard again. He leads him a little too far. That play was kind of botched.
Yeah, the snap hit off the up back, and I don't know if the up back was supposed to catch it and he just wasn't paying attention at the time or what happened. You almost wonder if that's how they got their passing touchdown.
You wonder. Because if he hits Shepard, that is that had to have been at 50-plus yards.
Oh, without a doubt.
Here's Shepard again, keeps it running left and tackled. And boy, Grapevine is really going for the football. Brock Smith made the tackle from the backside, and as he was on his back, ripping and stripping at the football, a gain of 6 on the play.
And I'll say, you like that as a defense. Tanner Antle, who's on the field right now yelling at his troops, has got to be happy with that level of aggressiveness. I will say you've got to be careful that you don't give up tackles because of that. You want to make sure that you're stripping at the football as the ball carrier is going to the ground, not when you first make contact with them. And that's critical to understand.
3rd and 4. Grapevine brings the blitz off the outside, and a tackle is made, not by the blitzing linebacker. The tackle made in the backfield for a loss. Turner Kane made that stop. Boy, screaming off the edge was Brock Smith. Now, Smith did come in and help clean up the tackle, but they nearly ran smack dab into that play. It will be a 4th down coming up.
Well, Smith forced Atchison right up the middle. I think he looked like a halfback base concept where he's supposed to come around the right corner. The right corner was closed. Brock Smith was looking for blood off that edge. Fortunately, he timed the snap in time, too. It almost looked like he jumped early, but it's going to end up being the last play of the ballgame, and that kind of describes how the second half has gone, right? Grapevine has dominated, and they roll their way to an emphatic victory. I think that play perfectly describes tonight.
Well, you're not kidding. That clock does tick down to 0, and Grapevine closes it out tonight with a resounding 42-9 win over the Poly Parrots. It was close at the half, but Grapevine pulled away in the final 24 minutes. They're 2-0 in district now, and 3-2 overall at the midway point of this 2020 regular season. These two teams come out, acknowledge one another as the Mustangs get out of here with a win. We'll come back, take a break, and the GDYO postgame show is coming your way next here on Champion Sports Radio.